Chapter 1376. Aren't you going to ask me what I'm going to give you in return? Ling Xiao asked. You saved me. That's the best reward you can give me. Bai Susu said calmly. Ling Xiao smiled. He realized that although Bai Susu looked cold on the outside, she was very pure on the inside. After all, an ordinary supreme god would have a high status in the realm of the gods. They would not be willing to be someone's subordinate. Ling Xiao looked at Bai Susu and said seriously, Miss Bai, I see that you've been cultivating alone all this time. The purple firmament lightning art from the combat god hall, and the lightning emperor skill from the 9-layered imperial obelisk are the most suitable skills for you to cultivate. I promise that I'll get you one of them. That's my reward. Purple firmament lightning art? Lightning emperor skill? This time, it was Bai Susu's turn to be shocked. Even with her cold personality, she couldn't help but reveal a hint of shock and excitement in her eyes. If you can get me one of the two skills, I'm willing to acknowledge you as my master. Bai Susu bit her lips as she looked at Ling Xiao seriously. It was obvious that these two peerless techniques were very important to her. You don't have to acknowledge me as your master. I believe in your promise, Ling Xiao said with a smile. His heart skipped a beat. When Bai Susu heard about the purple firmament lightning art and the lightning emperor skill, her eyes shone brightly. Bai Susu must be someone with a story. It was already unusual for a white snake to possess the bloodline of the thunder dragon. Ling Xiao guessed that Bai Susu inherited the bloodline of the lightning dragon from her father or mother. Young Master Long, you can call me Susu from now on, Bai Susu suddenly said. Susu. All right. Ling Xiao was stunned for a moment before he said with a smile. The two of them left the lightning mountain and flew towards Yiliangchen and the black donkey. Back then, the black donkey used the Saint Spiritual bracelet to detect a huge Saint Spiritual pool. If it was really a huge Saint Spiritual pool, it would be enough for Yiliangchen and the rest to cultivate for half a month or even a month. If he was not mistaken, they should still be cultivating in the Saint Spiritual pool. In the sky lightning sea, on top of a gourd-like lightning mountain, at the mouth of the gourd, there was a huge Holy Spirit pool. It was more than 1,000 feet in radius, and it was enveloped in golden Holy Spirit chi. It was shining brightly, and auspicious steam was rising. It was very peaceful. The black donkey had found the Holy Spirit pool using the Holy Spirit bracelet, and it contained a boundless amount of Holy Spirit chi. Right now the black donkey, Xianwang, Yapliangchen, Fengya, Fengsheng, and Fengcheng were all standing next to the sacred spirit pool, facing off against a few powerful young men. Junior sister Xianwang, you've already cultivated in this sacred spirit pool for so long. Shouldn't you let your senior brothers cultivate for a while? We are all brothers and sisters of Aries College. You can't possibly keep everything to yourself, right? A young man in a silver robe sneered. If Ling Xiao was here, he would definitely recognize him as Chu Yunfei. Beside Chu Yunfei stood a young man in a golden robe. His face was indifferent, and his temperament was extraordinary. There was a mysterious fluctuation around his body, and when his eyes opened and closed, it seemed as if there was a strange lightning overflowing from them. This young man in a golden robe had already reached the great circle of the heavenly god realm. He was Chu Yunfan, ranked 10th on the Hidden Dragon leaderboard, and also Chu Yunfei's older brother. Behind them, there were a few young men and women in black robes. Each of them had a powerful aura, and they were all heavenly gods. Senior brothers, we were the first to discover this sacred spirit pool. If you need it, please go and find it yourselves. Xianwang's eyes were cold as she spoke. Yap Liangchen, Fengya, and Fengsheng were furious. Chu Yunfei and Chu Yunfan were very domineering. They actually wanted to chase Xianwang and the others away, and then monopolize the Holy Spirit pool. This made them extremely angry. Hee-ha, who do you think you are? This Holy Spirit pool belongs to me, not your Aries College. If you don't want to die, scram. The black donkey's eyes widened, and they were filled with hostility. Bastard! Who gives you the right to speak here? Junior sister Xianwang, is this your pet? If you don't teach him well, I don't mind helping you kill him. Chu Yunfei's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He looked at Xianwang opposite him, and his eyes were filled with jealousy and greed. This Xian Wang, who had just entered the college for less than 2 years, had a higher cultivation than him. She had already reached the late stage of the heavenly god realm. Moreover, the Xian king's face was peerlessly beautiful and refined. That kind of graceful and noble aura filled her heart with fire, making her want to take him for herself. Compared to the Xian king, Su Feifei was simply a commoner, not worth mentioning. Damn it, you're the pet. Your whole family are pets. Do you believe that I won't kick you to death with my hooves? Stupid pighead, get out of my sight. The black donkey was enraged. His eyes were filled with coldness, and his black fur seemed to emit lightning. You're courting death. Killing intent flashed in Chu Yunfei's eyes, and he instantly reached out to grab the black donkey. In his opinion, a mere black donkey dared to speak rudely to him. It didn't matter whose pet it was, it had to die. Boom. Chu Yunfei used the Tiger King's divine claw, which contained an indestructible power. Every claw mark seemed to be able to tear through space. It was incomparably terrifying. Although he couldn't see through the black donkey's cultivation, it was a mere demonic beast. It definitely couldn't block his Tiger King's divine claw. You're courting death. The black donkey sneered and instantly moved. Whoosh. No one saw how the black donkey moved. They only saw a flash of white light, and the black donkey instantly disappeared in front of everyone. In the next moment, a black donkey hoof appeared behind Chu Yunfei, and then it suddenly kicked down at his head. Bang! A muffled sound rang out. Chu Yunfei felt his vision blur, but he felt like his head had been struck by lightning. He couldn't help but feel his vision go black, and he almost fell from the sky. However, before he could react, the black donkey's hoof landed on his face again. Chu Yunfei's face felt like it had been hit by a divine mountain 1,000,000 times. It was instantly flattened, and his face became a bloody mess. Chu Yunfei suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and he was directly sent flying. Everyone was dumbfounded. This black donkey's mouth was very annoying. They had all experienced it before, but they didn't expect the black donkey to be so fast. It was like a ghost, and they couldn't even see a trace of it. Chu Yunfei's cultivation was at the mid-stage heavenly god realm, and he was about to be played to death by the black donkey. Chapter 1377. Chu Yunfan's gaze turned cold. He stretched out his hand, and a burst of divine power erupted. Suddenly, Chu Yunfei's figure landed beside him. Beast, I'm going to kill you. Chu Yunfei was about to go crazy. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. He wanted to continue attacking the black donkey. Yunfei, you're not its match. Let me do it. Chu Yunfan said calmly. Big brother, kill that black donkey. I want to eat braised black donkey meat. Chu Yunfei gritted his teeth and stared at the black donkey. Sure. Chu Yunfan said calmly. Then he stepped forward. Boom. His body emitted a terrifying aura. The lightning in the void seemed to be distorted, forming a vast lightning domain around him. 5 Thunder Heavenly Spirit Technique? Feng Sheng's eyes narrowed. He recognized that Chu Yunfan was practicing one of the 9 great techniques, the 5 Thunder Heavenly Spirit Technique. The 5 Thunder Heavenly Spirit Technique could control the 5 elements thunder. Its attack power was unparalleled. It was one of the top techniques among the 9 great techniques. Chu Yunfan used the 5 Thunder Heavenly Spirit Technique to defeat everyone and stand at the 10th place of the Hidden Dragon leaderboard. In the Sky Thunder Sea, the 5 Thunder Heavenly Spirit Technique's power would be amplified several times. Here, even the eldest senior brother of the Heavenly Spirit Technique might not be Chu Yunfan's match. Junior sister Xian Wang, junior brother Fang, were all on the same side. I don't want to hurt everyone's friendship. Hand over the black donkey and the sacred spirit pool, and I'll let you go. Chu Yunfan said calmly. Impossible. Xian Wang's gaze turned cold as she said firmly. Feng Sheng gritted his teeth and also did not back down. He stood beside Xian Wang. Senior brother Chu, although I'm not a disciple of Aries College, aren't you being a little too overbearing? It's not nice to snatch something from a fellow disciple. Feng Chong, who was as gentle as jade, could not help but say angrily. If you're not a disciple of Aries College, don't speak. Otherwise, you'll be implicated. If you don't agree, then don't blame me for being rude. Chu Yunfan said coldly. Yu Fengcheng was infuriated, and his face turned ugly. Hee, senior brother Feng, don't talk to this shameless bastard, lest you lose your dignity. When Chu Yunfei took over High Heaven Pavilion, he was beaten up by my big brother. Now I'm here to take revenge. Yi Liangchen sneered. His eyes were filled with mockery. That's right. I despise this kind of scum who only dares to attack their own people. If you have the ability, why don't you go and rob the Holy Spirit pool of the devil race? Go and snatch the Holy Spirit pools of other academies? You only dare to be ruthless to your own people. What the hell do you think you are? The black donkey sneered and chimed in with Yap Liangchen. Oh. Does that mean all of you are related to that Long Outian kid? I've been looking for him all this time, but unfortunately, he only knows how to hide. Since that's the case, I'll have to capture all of you and force Long Outian out. Chu Yunfan said calmly as if he was not affected by Yap Liangchen and the black donkey. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Come on, I'll give you a few kicks. The black donkey sneered coldly. Black donkey, let me help you. Let's kill this bastard together. Yap Liangchen stood out and said disdainfully. Even Ling Xiao did not expect the black donkey to collude with Yap Liangchen. Moreover, it seemed like they were very close. Initially, Xian Wang and Fang Sheng were worried that the black donkey would not be able to defeat Chu Yunfan. However, when they saw Yap Liangchen, they could not help but take a few steps back. This Jinx's destructive power was too strong. Especially in a chaotic place like the Sky Lightning Sea. His destructive power was endless. Previously, everyone was worried about the black donkey. Now they were silently mourning for Chu Yunfan. You're courting death. Chu Yunfan's eyes flashed coldly. Although the black donkey was fast, Chu Yunfan did not think much of it. On the other hand, Yap Liangchen was only at the great true immortal realm. He was simply courting death. Hee, you'll know who's the one courting death later. Bastard, come on, let me give you a few hundred kicks to taste. The black donkey sneered coldly. Its eyes were filled with cunning. In the next moment, a ray of white light flashed and it disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. The black donkey's original form was a white dragon horse. Its innate ability was to travel through the heavens. It was extremely fast. When it moved, it was as if it had teleported. In an instant, it appeared behind Chu Yunfan. The black donkey wanted to use the same trick again. It wanted to defeat Chu Yunfan with one kick. Boom. Chu Yunfan's expression didn't change. It was as if he had already predicted the donkey's move. Lightning flashed around his body, and 5 dazzling lightning bolts appeared behind him, and shot towards the donkey. The black donkey was shocked. Chu Yunfan's reaction was really fast. However, it was extremely fast. In a flash, it disappeared behind Chu Yunfan, and appeared above Chu Yunfan's head. It wanted to kick Chu Yunfan with one of its hooves. Boom. Chu Yunfan's eyes lit up. He immediately threw a punch at the black donkey. A terrifying fist print exploded. It was as if there were many lightning bolts intertwining with each other. It contained a vast amount of fist energy. The black donkey was sent flying. Yi Liangchen, what are you waiting for? The black donkey was so angry that it screamed. It was hit by Chu Yunfan's fist. The blazing lightning made its body numb. Even its speed was affected. Chu Yunfan seemed to have noticed the change in the black donkey's speed. He suddenly let out a long roar. The roar shook the void. A dazzling lightning spear formed in his hand. It was extremely powerful. Suddenly, it pierced towards the black donkey. Chu Yunfan, don't you know that you're in big trouble? All lightning bolts in the heavens, listen to my command. Kill this bastard. Yi Liangchen stood out arrogantly. He pointed one of his fingers at the sky and the other at the ground. He looked extremely arrogant. When King Xian and the others saw Yi Liangchen standing out, their mouths twitched. They all backed off a few hundred feet at the same time. When Chu Yunfan heard Yi Liangchen's words, he was slightly stunned. He diverted some of his attention to see what Yi Liangchen was up to. However, nothing happened even after half a day. His lightning spear arrived in front of the black donkey in an instant. Crack. However, a purple lightning bolt suddenly shot out from the sea of lightning. It stirred up the lightning bolts in all directions. Chu Yunfan's spear could not help but tremble slightly. It actually stopped for a moment. This is my chance. Chapter 1378. Boom. Chu Yunfan's lightning spear exploded, as if it was hit by an ancient mountain. Chu Yunfan could feel his arm going numb. He could not help but take a few steps back. Chu Yunfan's eyes twinkled. The purple lightning from the Sea of Thunder was too coincidental. It blocked his spear and made his spear stop for a second. Chu Yunfan's spear was about to pierce through the black donkey's body. However, was it really a coincidence? Chu Yunfan could not help but look at Yi Liangchen suspiciously. What are you looking at? If you keep looking, I'll dig your eyeballs out. Black donkey, kill him. Yi Liangchen sneered arrogantly as he looked at Chu Yunfan from the corner of his eyes. All right. Hee-haw. Come on. Let's fight for another 300 rounds. The black donkey screamed and spat out a sharp sword chi of gung metal from its mouth. The sword chi contained an indestructible energy wave and shot towards Chu Yunfan. You're courting death. Chu Yunfan's face turned cold. He was infuriated by Yi Liangchen and the black donkey. Boom. Yi Futian stepped out and flashes of lightning rose around him. He threw a punch at the black donkey. His fist print seemed to encompass the heavens and the earth. His 5 fingers stretched out in the air, and it was as if the 5 elements divine thunder filled the air, trying to imprison the black donkey. The black donkey had extreme speed. However, it was not very powerful. As long as Chu Yunfan could restrict its speed, he would be able to deal with it. Clang. The gung metal sword chi shot out by the black donkey exploded in the sky. It turned into sharp divine light and shot towards Chu Yunfan's vital parts. It was extremely tricky. At the same time, the black donkey rolled its eyes and its body trembled slightly in the sky. In an instant, hundreds of afterimages were formed and shot towards Chu Yunfan from all directions. Boom. The lightning around Chu Yunfan's body exploded and formed a blazing lightning barrier. It deflected the divine light. Under Chu Yunfan's palm attack, numerous lightning bolts shot into the sky and destroyed all the black donkey's afterimages. In the end, Chu Yunfan's palm landed heavily on the black donkey. Boom. The black donkey exploded in the void and turned into nothingness. Not good. Chu Yunfan's eyes lit up. The black donkey in front of him was also a shadow. Then where was the real donkey? However, before Chu Yunfan had time to think, a bolt of lightning suddenly appeared behind him. It turned into a black donkey's hoof and kicked the back of his head. Bang. Chu Yunfan suddenly blacked out and staggered. He couldn't even stand still. Trash, I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of the heavens. Chop him to death. Yi Liangchen sneered. Rumble. A mysterious chi was released from Yi Liangchen's body. Suddenly, the blazing lightning in the sea of lightning swept over. Purple, silver and golden lightning turned into lightning dragons. They were exuding a terrifying fluctuation. They intertwined with each other and formed a small thunderstorm. Chu Yunfan cultivated the 5 thunder heavenly spirit cultivation method, but the terrifying thunderstorm instantly deprived him of his perception of the law of thunder and directly struck him in the face. Get out of my way. Chu Yunfan's eyes were solemn as he roared. The divine light around his body burst out, and his divine power rose. He leaped into the sky, trying to avoid the small thunderstorm. Bang! However, the black donkey's face appeared in front of Chu Yunfan's face in an instant. You didn't expect this, right? The black donkey said with a smile. Its face looked like it was asking for a beating. It then kicked Chu Yunfan with its hoof again. This time, the angle of the kick was very tricky. It was at the point where Chu Yunfan's divine energy was depleted. Chu Yunfan was knocked down from the sky. Rumble. The small thunderstorm completely exploded. The thunderstorm in the Sea of Lightning was extremely terrifying. It was formed by the chaotic lightning energy. Even a divine king like Ji Huang couldn't withstand the powerful thunderstorm. Although the power of the small thunderstorm was weaker, it was enough to threaten the life of a great circle heavenly god. Chu Yunfan was extremely depressed. However, at this moment, the lightning around him exploded. The chaotic energy rushed into his body and destroyed all the meridians in his body. Even though Chu Yunfan was very powerful, his internal organs were still injured by the chaotic lightning. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Puff! Chu Yunfan's face was extremely pale as he was thrown out of the thunderstorm. Brother. Chu Yunfei was shocked. His eyes were full of anxiety. He hurriedly rushed over and helped Chu Yunfan up. He even began to panic. His elder brother, Chu Yunfan, who had always been invincible in his heart, was seriously injured. And the one who heavily injured him was actually a black donkey. There was also a brat who was only at the grand completion true god realm. It made him feel that it was simply too sinister. Especially Yi Liangchen, his words were like the law. It was as if all the lightning in the heavenly lightning sea were under his command. Even Chu Yunfan was severely injured by the lightning storm. Cough cough. Very good. It has been many years since someone could injure me so badly. You should be proud. Chu Yunfan's face was pale, but his eyes were as cold and sharp as a blade. He stared at Yi Liangchen and the black donkey with a murderous look in his eyes. Boom. A terrifying aura suddenly burst out from Chu Yunfan's body. Senior brother Chu, we are all from the same sect. Why do we have to fight to this extent? Why don't we both take a step back and agree to let you enter the sacred spirit pool with us to cultivate? Fang Sheng and King Xian looked at each other. There was a hint of worry in their eyes. They could see that Chu Yunfan's combat strength was extremely terrifying. They were too careless just now. If he unleashed his full combat strength, Yi Liangchen and the black donkey might not be able to stop him. You want to take a step back? It's too late. Chu Yunfan said coldly. He was completely enraged by Yi Liangchen and the black donkey. Swoosh. Swoosh. Suddenly, a few ear-piercing sounds could be heard. They landed beside Chu Yunfan and the others in an instant, emitting an extremely powerful aura. They were a few young men and women dressed in long black robes. The men were handsome, while the women were charming and charming. Their faces were brimming with confidence. Chapter 1379. Chu Yunfan, you've been cultivating for the past few years. You can't even defeat a brat at the complete true immortal realm. The muscular young man sneered. King Kong? Why are you here? Chu Yunfan's eyes flashed with a hint of fear. Even though King Kong's cultivation base was the same as his, great perfection heavenly god, King Kong's fighting prowess was extremely terrifying. He was the strongest expert in the current generation of Overlord College, and was rumored to be on par with great senior brother Tiangang. Although Chu Yunfan had fought with him a few times, he had lost more than he won. The sacred spirit pool is good stuff. With the sacred spirit chi, you can accumulate enough foundation to break through to the divine king realm. Why do you think I'm here? King Kong smiled faintly as he looked at the sacred spirit pool behind King Xian and the others. His eyes were burning with desire. This sacred spirit pool belongs to Ares College. It has nothing to do with you. You'd better leave. Chu Yunfan's eyes turned cold. He did not expect King Kong to be interested in the sacred spirit pool. He had long regarded the sacred spirit pool as his exclusive property. He did not expect King Kong to appear out of nowhere after suffering a loss at the hands of Yi Liangchen and the black donkey. Chu Yunfan, haven't I made myself clear enough? This sacred spirit pool belongs to me. If you don't want to embarrass yourself, you'd better leave now. King Kong's eyes turned cold as he glared at Chu Yunfan. Rumble. His body exuded an incomparably terrifying fluctuation as his blood and chi rose. It felt as if an archean ferocious beast had been awakened. King Kong's body was covered with a layer of mysterious and bright Buddhist light. There seemed to be a mysterious chanting that sounded ancient and ethereal. Your Vajra battle body has already reached the advanced level? Chu Yunfan's face darkened as he said. The King Kong battle body was the same as the immortal body. They were both powerful body refining techniques. The great completion realm of the King Kong battle body was equivalent to the complete fourth stage of the immortal body. In the entire Ares College, only big brother Tiangang could defeat King Kong in terms of physical strength. Although Chu Yunfan did not want to admit it, he knew that he was no match for King Kong. That's right. I want to test Tiangang's indestructible battle body, but you are no match for me. Scram. King Kong sneered. Chu Yunfan's face darkened, and he stood there in silence. Big brother, are we really going to just let it go? Chu Yunfei was not willing to give up. That was a giant sacred spirit pool. There were probably only a few of them in the entire sky lightning sea. Naturally, he was not willing to give it up. What else can we do? I'm no match for King Kong. Chu Yunfan said sadly. The rest of you scram as well. However, this black donkey isn't bad. Give it to me and I'll let you go. King Kong glanced at King Xian, Yi Liangchen and the others. Finally, he looked at Black Donkey. The Black Donkey was instantly enraged. You dog, who are you talking about? Do you believe that I won't kill you? Oh, she has quite a temper, but I like it. Such a black donkey with such character. If it's slaughtered, it should taste quite good. King Kong looked at Black Donkey in surprise, and there was a hint of passion in his eyes. Black Donkey felt goosebumps all over his body. He looked at King Kong with disgust and said, You dog, I'm not gay. If you dare to look at me like that again, I'll gouge your eyes out. Hee hee, it's good to have character. However, there's nothing I can do if you don't know what's good for you. I wonder who raised such an arrogant black donkey. Since you don't know what's good for you, I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your master. King Kong sneered and stared at Black Donkey. Rumble. His body was surrounded by a golden aura, and he exuded an extremely powerful aura. It was as if he was going to attack Black Donkey at any time. Who do you think you are? How dare you teach Black Donkey a lesson on behalf of me? Suddenly, a cold and indifferent voice exploded in the sky. Swoosh! Swoosh! Two beams of dazzling light shot over from afar, and they instantly appeared above Thunder Mountain, exuding a powerful aura. It was a young man and a young woman. The young man was wearing a snow-white robe, and the young woman was wearing a fluttering white dress. They were Ling Xiao and Bai Susu who were rushing over. Junior brother Long? Ha ha ha. My elder brother is back. You bastards are dead meat. King Xian, Yap Liangchen, and the others were pleasantly surprised. King Kong's eyes flashed as he looked at Ling Xiao. He could tell that Ling Xiao was only a middle-stage heavenly god. Due to Bai Susu's heaven-shrouding secret skill, her aura was ethereal. Even King Kong could not tell her true cultivation level. Who are you? King Kong asked indifferently. Black Donkey is my mount. This sacred spirit pool is also mine. Who do you think I am? The people from Tyrant Academy are really domineering. I'd like to see how you're going to kill Black Donkey in front of me. Ling Xiao sneered, and a cold killing intent flashed in his eyes. Ever since Xiong Ba in the Void Realm, Ling Xiao didn't have a good impression of the Tyrant Academy. Now that King Kong wanted to snatch the sacred spirit pool and kill the Black Donkey, Ling Xiao was filled with murderous intent. Do you need my help? Bai Susu asked Ling Xiao telepathically. No need. I'd like to see what's so special about Tyrant Academy's disciples. Ling Xiao replied with a cold smile. Long Outyan? Brother, this kid is Long Outyan. Chu Yunfei said to Chu Yunfan when he saw Ling Xiao. There was a complicated look in his eyes. Middle stage heavenly god realm cultivation level, and his indestructible war body has probably reached the 3rd or 4th level. This kid's strength has increased so quickly. Chu Yunfan narrowed his eyes. Chu Yunfei had asked him to teach Ling Xiao a lesson, but in just 2 years, Ling Xiao had reached the middle stage heavenly god realm. Chu Yunfan was shocked. So what if his strength has increased quickly? Now that he has met King Kong, he still dares to be so arrogant. No one can save him. Chu Yunfei sneered. Seeing that Ling Xiao was going to fight King Kong, he was secretly pleased. If King Kong could kill Ling Xiao, he would feel even better. You're called Long Outyan? This name was really arrogant. Middle stage heavenly god realm cultivation level, and you've even cultivated the indestructible war body? However, you're not my match. If Tian Gang comes, he might be able to fight me. King Kong's eyes flashed as he sneered. Is that so? Then I'd like to give it a try. Ling Xiao said indifferently, but the sharpness in his eyes was getting stronger. Boom. Chapter 1380. You actually cultivated the undying war body to the 4th level? Looks like I've misjudged you. But if you want to fight me, let's see if you can take a punch from me. King Kong sneered, slightly surprised. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to cultivate the undying war body to such a level. Boom. He stomped his foot, and the void shook. The terrifying power even spread to the vast sea of lightning below. Beams of divine light shot up into the sky and exploded between heaven and earth. He abruptly threw a punch at Ling Xiao. His fist was incomparably blazing, illuminating the heavens in all directions. This was the Vajra seal, one of the most powerful fist techniques in the Tyrant Sky Academy. When combined with King Kong's Vajra battle body, it actually exploded with terrifying power. King Kong's punch seemed to be able to destroy the world. The vast power of the punch enveloped the entire area. Good. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. His fighting spirit rose, and the blood in his body seemed to be burning. The guardian deity seal had made him feel a little threatened, but it had also stimulated a strong fighting spirit in his heart. Gotcha. Ling Xiao also punched out. The god of war fist exploded. In the blazing divine light, a mysterious and ancient aura gushed out. It was as if an ancient god of war had punched out with an eternal fist. Both of their bodies were pushed to the extreme, emitting mysterious waves. Bang! It was as if two small suns had collided. With a loud bang, dozens of huge waves exploded in the sea of lightning with Ling Xiao and King Kong at the center. This was the pure power of the physical body. It was also the ultimate collision. Ling Xiao and King Kong were both sent flying at the same time. This punch was actually evenly matched. Your physical body is actually so strong. King Kong's gaze became serious. He could feel that Ling Xiao's undying war body was only at the 4th level. His 5 internal organs' divine palaces were not complete. Compared to his Vajra battle body, it was still a little weaker. But even so, Ling Xiao's physical body was actually not weaker than his. That incomparably fierce aura was even stronger than his. As expected of the Vajra battle body, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he nodded. King Kong was also a talented individual. Like him, King Kong had achieved godhood through his physical body. If Ling Xiao had not cultivated both the indestructible battle body and the ancestral dragon secret skill, he might not have been King Kong's match in terms of physical body. Again, King Kong gritted his teeth. The battle intent in his heart was completely ignited, and he began to treat Ling Xiao as a real opponent. Boom, boom, boom. King Kong's chi and blood rose all over his body, emitting a dark golden light. His entire body seemed to be made of metal. Every punch he threw out produced bursts of explosive sounds. Ling Xiao and King Kong continued to collide. In an instant, they had blasted out hundreds of punches. Both of them were imposing like two immemorial sacred mountains colliding. It was extremely intense. It had to be said that the Vajra before him was extremely powerful. The Vajra battle body combined with the Vajra seal made him seem like a Buddhist Vajra with boundless divine power. Ling Xiao also had to unleash all of his combat strength to be able to fight against King Kong. The collision between the two of them was like a real dragon soaring into the sky. The surrounding sky thunder sea exploded violently, and the thunder mountains trembled as if they were going to shatter at any time. Ling Xiao and King Kong were extremely fast. Countless afterimages appeared in the void, and the crowd could not even see the two of them clearly. Junior Brother Long's combat strength is actually so strong? Could it be that Junior Brother Long can really fight Senior Brother Big Dipper? Feng Sheng was so shocked that his mouth was agape. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Big Dipper was the idol of everyone in Aries College. He was also Feng Sheng's idol. King Kong was even said to be able to fight Big Dipper to a draw. Now that Feng Sheng saw Ling Xiao and King Kong fighting to such an extent, he felt that it was unreal. Big Brother is awesome. Big Brother is so powerful. Yu Liangchen chuckled. His eyes shone brightly as if he was not surprised at all. This kid is getting stronger and stronger. Black Donkey also whispered at the side. The two brothers, Chu Yunfei and Chu Yinfan, were even more shocked. Big Brother, am I seeing things? Is this guy really Long Out Yin? 2 years ago, he was only slightly stronger than me. How can he be so strong now? Chu Yunfei was on the verge of breaking down. He was like a deflated balloon. There was no longer any hatred in his heart for Ling Xiao. In fact, there was even a trace of uncontrollable fear spreading in his heart. To be able to fight King Kong, even if Long Out Yin is not as strong as Big Dipper, he should be close. He is stronger than me. Chu Yinfan said calmly. There was a bitter smile and a sigh at the corner of his mouth. He was even a little relieved that he did not listen to Chu Yunfei and find trouble with Ling Xiao. Otherwise he would have been humiliated. Compared to such a peerless monster, Chu Yunfan had to admit that he was not as strong as Ling Xiao. Hearing Chu Yunfan admit that Long Outyin was stronger than him, Chu Yunfei could not help but feel discouraged. He no longer had any thoughts of finding trouble with Long Outyin. Right now he was even thinking about how to make Long Aotian not hate him. Should he tie up that little slut Su Feifei and give her to Long Aotian? Speaking of which, all this trouble was caused by that little bitch behind his back. Boom. There was another earth-shattering collision. Like a tsunami, the heavenly lightning sea created monstrous waves. Bolts of lightning exploded and swept towards Ling Xiao and King Kong. However, when the dazzling fist exploded, those bolts of lightning could not even get close to Ling Xiao and King Kong. They exploded in the void. This feels good. King Kong laughed heartily as he looked at Ling Xiao with an even more passionate gaze. He was called a battle maniac in Overlord College. Not only the disciples of Overlord College, but many elders were also annoyed by him. Now that he met Ling Xiao, who was on par with him, he was naturally excited. Fight! Ling Xiao also let out a roar, his eyes blazing with passion. In the battle with King Kong, he felt that the immortal war body was improving rapidly. He even had a deeper understanding of the King of War Fist and other martial arts. Caught it! The two of them went from the void to the vast heavenly lightning sea. Then, they charged towards Thunder Crash Mountain that was floating on the sea. They were like two human-shaped tyrannosauruses, smashing Thunder Crash Mountain into smithereens. However, a sudden change occurred in the heavenly lightning sea that no one had expected. Boom! Above the heavenly thunder sea in the distance, a dazzling divine light soared into the sky. Thousands of auspicious colors, thousands of rays of light, an ancient and mysterious heavenly palace slowly floated up, appearing in front of everyone's eyes. Chapter 1381. It was an incomparably majestic heavenly palace. It floated in the sky and was supported by resplendent clouds. It was surrounded by incomparably gorgeous symbols. Mysterious celestial music lingered in the air. The heavenly palace was golden in color. It was crystal clear and exuded an ancient and majestic aura. It was like the palace of the ancient heavenly emperor. Anyone who looked at it would feel their heart tremble. The heavenly palace has appeared. Everyone, let's go. That's the palace of the ancient heavenly emperor. It contains countless treasures, scriptures of the great emperor, and ultimate emperor weapons. It's full of treasures. Get out of my way. Everyone in the sky lightning sea started to go crazy. Their eyes were filled with a blazing light. No one knew where the news came from. It was said that there was a heavenly emperor's palace in the heavenly lightning sea with countless treasures. Now, seeing that the heavenly palace had really come into being, everyone immediately began to go crazy. The heavenly palace? This aura. It's definitely beyond the level of a supreme god. It might not be the palace of the heavenly emperor, but it's at least the palace of a saint. Chu Yunfan's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with shock. Brother, let's go then. The treasures in the heavenly palace. If you can get a powerful inheritance or a saint treasure or emperor weapon, you'll be rich. Chu Yunfei's eyes lit up as he encouraged them. Let's go. Chu Yunfan was also tempted. He glanced at Ling Xiao, King Kong, and the others and left decisively. He brought Chu Yunfei and the others and flew toward the heavenly palace. The heavenly palace has appeared? After another fierce collision, King Kong and Ling Xiao's blood boiled. Their bodies exuded a powerful aura. King Kong stared at the majestic heavenly palace in the sky. His eyes were also filled with passion. Haha. Long Outyin, it's so fun to fight with you. Now that the heavenly palace has appeared, why don't we stop fighting for a while? I'll fight with you after I get the treasures in the heavenly palace. King Kong laughed and said, The heavenly palace? I'll be waiting for you to challenge me anytime. Ling Xiao's eyes glinted as he spoke. Good. Let's go. King Kong couldn't wait any longer. That huge and majestic heavenly palace had completely captured his attention. He no longer had any intention to continue fighting with Ling Xiao. Instantly, he led the Overlord College disciples towards the heavenly palace. Junior Brother Long, There might really be a supreme treasure in that heavenly palace. Why don't we go and try our luck? Feng Sheng and the others also walked over, their eyes filled with excitement. The appearance of this heavenly palace is too strange. I'm afraid there's a problem. Ling Xiao looked at the crowd and said slowly, "Oh, why is that so?" Feng Sheng and the others asked curiously. Ling Xiao said, "I once met Bo Jie from the Sky Devil tribe and many other demon race experts at the bottom of the Sky Lightning Sea. At that time, they were discussing some sort of conspiracy. I heard the words Heavenly Palace from them." Ling Xiao roughly explained the situation of his encounter with Bo Jie at the bottom of the Sky Lightning Sea. Ling Xiao already had some suspicions. Now that a heavenly palace had appeared out of nowhere, his suspicions were magnified. He guessed that this heavenly palace was most likely created by Bo Jie. Bo Jie from the Sky Devil tribe? That bastard likes to scheme. "Big brother, let's go and kill those bastards together," Yu Liangchen exclaimed. There was a hint of eagerness in his eyes. He had experienced the battle in the Sky Devil Valley 2 years ago. Naturally, he knew that Bo Jie had schemed against everyone in the Sky Devil Valley. He wanted everyone to become food for his world-etching bugs. If Ling Xiao had not exterminated the world-etching bugs, the human race experts would have suffered heavy casualties in that battle. Therefore, Yi Liangchen had a deep impression of Bo Jie. Although the Sky Devil tribe is a sage demon race in the demon world, they are the most similar to humans. They are also known as the smartest demon race. They are good at scheming. If this heavenly palace was really created by them, it might be possible. Lord Xian's eyes lit up as he said slowly, "Then what should we do? Many human race experts have been attracted to the heavenly palace. Are we not going to do anything?" Feng Chong was a little anxious. Speaking of which, he was a gentleman with a strong sense of justice. He always wanted to do something to save the human race from the abyss of suffering. Hee, so what if they are the bastards of the Sky Devil tribe? Why don't we just charge in and kill them all? Is there a need to go through so much trouble? The black donkey sneered, appearing extremely arrogant and haughty. However, everyone automatically ignored the black donkey's words. This fellow loved to boast. If the demons were so easy to kill, then there wouldn't be so many human experts who died in the fiend god space over the years. Needless to say, according to the information provided by Ling Xiao, the demon clan had at least 2 demon god kings, and over 100 heavenly god realm powerhouses. This was only on the surface. As for how many powerhouses there were in the dark, no one knew. Buzz. Suddenly, the wordless heavenly book in Ling Xiao's mind trembled slightly. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. A deep light flashed in his eyes as though he had thought of something. He looked at everyone and said slowly, "No matter what, we should go to the heavenly palace to take a look. We should try to find out what the demon race is up to. However, it's best that we stay together. Once we discover danger, retreat immediately." Hearing Ling Xiao's words, everyone expressed their agreement. The heavenly palace in the distant sky was ancient and mysterious, vast and majestic. It was full of temptation for everyone. Even though everyone already knew that it was very likely a conspiracy of the heavenly fiend clan, they still could not help but want to take a look. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Ling Xiao and the others leaped up together and flew towards the heavenly palace in the sky. As Ling Xiao flew towards the heavenly palace, he carefully sensed the reaction of the wordless heavenly book. At the same time, he verified his guess and was closer to the truth. If it's really that kind of thing, Boji really wants to play big this time. Does he really think that he can capture all the humans in one fell swoop? Ling Xiao's eyes became extremely deep and serene. The reason why he chose to go to the heavenly palace was because he felt that although it was a crisis, it was also a great opportunity for him. If he planned it well, he might be able to improve his cultivation and obtain great benefits. Chapter 1382. The heavenly palace was tens of thousands of feet tall. Its entire body looked like it was made of gold. It was majestic and surrounded by endless divine light. At this moment, the door of the heavenly palace was completely open. A mysterious aura gushed out, invigorating everyone who took a whiff of it. It was the purest saint spiritual qi. Everyone felt that the heavenly palace was like an extremely huge Holy Spirit pool. The Holy Spirit chi was endless, and it was extremely pure. Figures flew over from afar. When they saw the door of the heavenly palace open, they all entered the heavenly palace excitedly. When Ling Xiao and the rest arrived in front of the heavenly palace, they saw that the human experts had already disappeared into the heavenly palace. When the two doors of the heavenly palace opened, the saint's spiritual qi gushed out. In Ling Xiao's eyes, it was like the mouth of an archean ferocious beast, exuding an extremely dangerous aura. Junior brother Long, are we going in directly? Feng Sheng looked at the door of the heavenly palace in front of him. Although he was excited, he still asked Ling Xiao cautiously. Let's go in first. At least, there shouldn't be any danger for now. The corner of Ling Xiao's mouth twitched slightly. A strange light flashed in his eyes. He was now 100% sure how Bo Jie had set up such a huge heavenly palace. This was not the heavenly palace at all. It was the illusion demonic ancient tree. Finally, Ling Xiao saw the illusion demonic ancient tree for the first time in the realm of the gods. In the war god's world, he had encountered the illusory demonic ancient tree a few times. Each time he had encountered the illusory demonic ancient tree, which had brought him great danger. However, it had also brought him countless opportunities. This was because the origin energy contained in the illusion demonic ancient tree was extremely important for repairing the wordless heavenly book. The illusion demonic ancient tree was the mother tree of the demon clan. Legend had it that there was an illusion demonic ancient tree in the demon realm. The first generation of demon clan ancestors grew from the illusion demonic ancient tree. Therefore, in the demon realm, the illusion demonic ancient tree was the belief and totem of the demon clan. Only the most powerful demon clan had the illusion demonic ancient tree, and was extremely precious. Ling Xiao was puzzled about how the heavenly palace could appear out of thin air in the heavenly thunder sea. Now he was completely sure that it was not a heavenly palace, an illusion of the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao thought to himself, of the of. Both of these were extremely difficult to achieve. However, Ling Xiao knew that the human clan experts were not in any danger for the time being. Since Boji had taken out the illusion demonic ancient tree, he would not be satisfied with just killing a few human clan experts. He would definitely attract more human clan experts, including divine king experts. Therefore, Ling Xiao led King Xian and the rest into the heavenly palace. Rumble! Dazzling light shone before them. Streaks of divine light bloomed like lightning. Ling Xiao and the rest felt that the light in front of them had changed. They appeared in a foreign space. To be exact, they were in a dazzling galaxy. They were surrounded by dazzling stars that sparkled like jewels. They lit up the lonely and dark sky. The galaxy stretched for hundreds of millions of miles. It was extremely beautiful. The group stood on top of the galaxy. Countless resplendent light clusters floated in front of the crowd. These light clusters were like stars that could be touched with one's hands. When Ling Xiao and the rest appeared, they saw many people collecting the dazzling light balls. Some of them were even fighting over the treasures in the light balls. Hand over the Heavenly King scripture in your hand. Otherwise you will die. Why should I? I got this scripture first. Go get it yourself if you have the ability. A group of middle-aged men in black robes surrounded a young man in white. They stared at the page of golden scripture in the young man's hand with greed. Although the young man in white was a little afraid, he still said stubbornly. Many human race experts found that although there were many bright balls of light, only a few would appear after a certain period of time. Only then could they be collected by the crowd. Therefore, the person who obtained the treasures in the light balls became the target of everyone. There were scriptures, peerless martial arts, powerful holy treasures, incomparably precious elixirs. There were all kinds of treasures in the light balls. It could be said that it had completely aroused the greed in everyone's heart. I got a holy treasure. If you are not afraid of death, come and take it. A thin young man roared crazily. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He held a black saber in his hand. It flowed with a mysterious holy light. The saber light was blazing and bright. There were several corpses lying at his feet. They had died extremely miserably. I got the legendary eternal creation elixir. This peerless holy sword is mine. All of you, get out of my way. Anyone who gets in my way will die. This scripture belongs to me. All of you, go to hell. Many experts of the human clan went completely crazy. Their eyes were filled with excitement and exhilaration. Due to the appearance of the treasures in the light balls, it immediately caused a fight between the crowd. There were endless screams. Many human clan experts were killed in the Star River. Soon, the void was filled with a thick smell of blood. Junior brother Long, do you think the treasures in the light balls are real? Feng Sheng and Feng Chong were eager to try, but they were also very cautious. You can give it a try. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said non-committally, can we really snatch them? Yi Liangchen's eyes lit up. Go ahead. Ling Xiao nodded. He also wanted to verify what the treasures in the light balls were. This was because Ling Xiao could feel that the holy light emitted from the holy treasures did not seem fake. After all, it was difficult to kill so many experts even in an illusion. Alright. Let's go and snatch one for fun. Yi Liangchen and the black donkey were excited. Boom. At this moment, a bright light burst out from the Star River. Suddenly 7 or 8 light balls flew out from it. Chapter 1383. Everyone could see that there were powerful weapons, mysterious elixirs, and even inheritance scriptures in the 7 to 8 balls of light. The inheritance scriptures that appeared in the 3 balls of light became the target of everyone's intense competition. Rumble. Above the galaxy, many human experts fought fiercely over the 7 to 8 balls of light. All of them attacked with all their might, trying to snatch the great opportunity in the balls of light. Whoosh. The black donkey was the fastest. This guy was very cunning. When the balls of light flew out, he had already calculated the location of the balls of light. In addition to his extreme speed, he snatched one of the bright balls of light and flew back to Ling Xiao's side in an instant. No matter how cunning they are, they still have to drink my foot-washing water. Hurry up and see what's inside. The black donkey laughed proudly. Then he handed the ball of light to Ling Xiao so that he could check the page of golden scriptures in the ball of light. That's right, the black donkey had snatched one of the 3 balls of light that contained the inheritance scriptures. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he took the ball of light. Divine light burst out from his hand, and the ball of light exploded into a rain of light, revealing the inheritance scriptures within. Mysterious light lingered and runes filled the air. This page of inheritance scriptures looked extremely ancient, as though it contained the mysteries of heaven and earth. Seeing this page of inheritance scriptures, Xian Wang, Yi Liangchen, Feng Chong, and Feng Sheng were all attracted. Their eyes were filled with anticipation. It's actually the seed of the demonic illusion ancient tree? No wonder it's so realistic. It can even simulate the mysterious aura of the inheritance scriptures. Ling Xiao's eyes seemed to turn golden at this moment. He activated the textless heavenly book and the secret skill of destiny. In front of Ling Xiao, the world seemed to have turned into chaos. Lines of precepts ran in all directions. Ling Xiao glanced at the inheritance scriptures in his hand, and could tell that it was the seed of the demonic illusion ancient tree. It exuded a rich and majestic origin energy. This galaxy was the trunk of the demonic illusion ancient tree. It was 1,000,000 feet tall and stood between heaven and earth. It exuded an extremely terrifying aura. However, Ling Xiao only took a closer look. After engraving the full appearance of the demonic illusion ancient tree in his heart, he stopped instantly. The illusory fiend ancient tree in front of him was too terrifying. Ling Xiao did not want to alert the enemy. Not to mention that Boji and the others had yet to appear. Many experts of the human race had been attracted by the treasures in the galaxy. At this moment they were not vigilant at all. In Ling Xiao's eyes they had become food for the phantom devil ancient tree. It was just that the conspiracy of the devil race had not yet begun, so they appeared to be very calm. The seed of the illusory demonic ancient tree was about the size of a fist. It was branded with many mysterious patterns that looked like the pattern of a demon god. It was ferocious and terrifying, and it emitted a strange aura. Ling Xiao could feel that the aura was able to affect one's primordial spirit. Not only would it cause one to sink deeper into the illusion of the heavenly palace, but it would also trigger the desire to kill. What a vicious plan. Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. Just the seeds of the illusory fiend ancient alone were enough to cause many human experts to kill each other. Whoosh. At this moment, a burly man in a black robe flew towards Ling Zhao. He was emitting a strong murderous aura. Looking at the ball of light in Ling Zhao's hand, his eyes were burning with greed. Most importantly, his cultivation level had already reached the Divine King realm. Kid, hand over the Inheritance Sutra in your hand, and I will spare your lives. The burly man in the black robe said coldly. That's the third of the 3 demons equal to heaven, Qi Wangsun. How dare he snatch something from a disciple of Ares College? How bold! Someone's eyes flashed as he could not help but exclaim. Apparently, he had recognized the burly man in the black robe. The 3 demons equal to heaven were 3 infamous bandits in the mythical space. Each of them was of the Divine King realm. They were extremely powerful and ferocious. Not only did they hunt down experts of the devil race, but they also hunted down experts of the human race. Therefore, most people would avoid the 3 demons equal to heaven. No one had expected Qi Wangsun to be eyeing the Inheritance Sutra in Ling Zhao's hand. So what if he's from Ares College? Hanli from Ares College is not here. How can a few ordinary disciples be a match for Qi Wangsun? I'm afraid they will just hand it over obediently. What can they do? Qi Wangsun is already a divine king. Even Chu Yinfan would not stand up for them. Everyone was discussing among themselves as they looked at Qi Wangsun in awe. Big brother, there's no need to offend Qi Wangsun for those bastards. Long Outyin is too arrogant. Let Qi Wangsun teach him a lesson. Chu Yunfei said with a cold smile. Chu Yunfan furrowed his brows, but he did not say anything in the end. Qi Wangsun, are you trying to make an enemy out of Ares College? We were the ones who got the Inheritance Sutra. Why should we give it to you? Feng Xing stared at Qi Wangsun coldly and said. That's right. Qi Wangsun, don't push it too far. The Imperial College is not a pushover. Feng Chong said coldly. Seeing that both Feng Sheng and Feng Chong had spoken, and that the students from Ares College and Imperial College had gathered together, Qi Wangsun's eyes flashed. Ares College and the Imperial College were famous for being protective of their students. However, these 2 colleges were extremely powerful. If they offended them, the 3 demons equal to heaven might not be afraid of them, but they would have to suffer a lot in the future. However, Qi Wangsun had the pride of a divine king. He sneered and said, So what if you are from Ares College and the Imperial College? I was the one who wanted the Inheritance Sutra first. I didn't expect you to steal it from me. Hand it over and I won't do anything to you. In fact, Qi Wangsun was right. He had his eyes on the Inheritance Sutra for a long time. However, before he could do anything, Black Donkey had stolen it from him. Naturally, he was not happy about it. Moreover, the strongest among the disciples from Ares College and the Imperial College was only in the late heavenly god realm. He did not care about them at all. You really want the Inheritance Sutra? Ling Xiao suddenly raised his head and looked at Qi Wangsun with a strange expression. Qi Wangsun was taken aback, but he still sneered and said, That's right. As long as you hand it over, I won't do anything to you. All right, the Inheritance Sutra is yours. Ling Xiao said calmly and threw the Inheritance Sutra to Qi Wangsun. Everyone was stunned. Chapter 1384. Xian Wang, Yap Liangchen, Feng Sheng and Feng Chong were all confused by Ling Zhao's actions. However, they were reassured by Ling Zhao's look. They knew that Ling Xiao had his reasons for doing so. Very well. Kid, at least you know what's good for you. Qi Wangsun was taken aback by Ling Zhao's words. However, he quickly took the book and walked away with a cold smile. Qi Wangsun did not want to fight with the students of Ares College and Imperial College in front of so many people. It was a good thing that Ling Xiao was willing to hand it over. As for those who didn't get to watch a good show, they looked at Ling Xiao with disdain. Even though they knew that Ling Xiao was no match for Qi Wangsun, they did not expect a student of Ares College to hand over the book just because of a few words from Qi Wangsun. Brother, did you see that? Long Outyin is a coward who bullies the weak and fears the strong. Just one Qi is enough to scare him. He is a disgrace to Aries College. Chu Yunfei sneered. Hearing the mockery of Ling Xiao from the surrounding people, he felt very pleased in his heart. Bully the weak and fear the strong? I don't think so. Do you think King Kong is a pushover? Chu Yunfan's eyes flashed with a strange light as he said slowly. Chu Yunfei's face froze when he heard Chu Yunfan's words. King Kong was the most outstanding student of the Overlord College. His King Kong battle body and King Kong seal were well known. Even though he was only in the great circle of the heavenly god stage, many people said that he had the combat power of a divine king. Ling Xiao was able to fight King Kong to a draw. Why would he be afraid of Qi Wangsun? Thinking of this, although Chu Yunfei was not convinced in his heart, he still fell silent. Yunfei, tell all the students not to fight for those balls of light. If I'm not mistaken, there's something wrong with those balls of light. Chu Yunfan suddenly opened his mouth and said. There was a deep light in his eyes. What? Big brother, why? Those balls of light contain incomparably precious treasures. Chu Yunfei immediately asked anxiously. Let's take a look first. Listen to me, don't move. Although Chu Yunfan didn't know what was wrong, he suddenly felt a little scared, as if there was something evil hidden in those light balls. Junior brother Long, why did you give that scripture to Qi Wangsun? Fang Xing couldn't help but ask Ling Xiao with a puzzled look. Ling Xiao glanced at the crowd. Their eyes were filled with doubt as they waited for him to explain. After all, they didn't think that Ling Xiao was afraid of Qi Wangsun. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say, but don't reveal any strange expressions. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he transmitted his voice to everyone. Everyone felt a chill in their hearts, and secretly nodded their heads. That's not an inheritance scripture at all, but the seed of the illusory demonic ancient tree. The heavenly palace you see is not a heavenly palace, but an illusory space formed by the illusory demon ancient tree. Ling Xiao slowly told everyone what he had seen. Xianwang, Yiliangchen, and the rest looked calm on the surface. However, when they heard Ling Xiao's words, their hearts were in turmoil. The illusory demonic ancient tree. Everyone knew what the illusory demonic ancient tree meant. The illusory demonic ancient tree was the ancestral spiritual root of the demon race, but it was also a nightmare for the human race. During the war between the demon race and the demon race, the illusory demonic ancient tree had caused a lot of casualties to the human race. The thought of falling into an eternal dream, being turned into a mindless puppet, and being turned into fertilizer for the illusory demonic ancient tree, deeply infuriated every human cultivator. If they knew that the illusory demonic ancient tree had appeared in the mythical space, not only the 5 academies, but also the 3 immortal sanctuaries would be alarmed. Junior brother Long, if we're really trapped in the illusory demonic ancient tree, I'm afraid we won't be able to escape. Fang Chong's eyes were filled with worry. Don't worry, everyone. The phantom fiend ancient tree is not an invincible existence. At the very least, I've already discovered its existence. So what we need to do now is to not touch those seeds of the phantom fiend ancient tree, and find a way to escape. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke to everyone. He did not plan on letting anyone know that he was going to use the wordless heavenly book against the illusory demonic ancient tree. Ling Xiao had taken the risk to enter the heavenly palace because he wanted to discover the illusory demonic ancient tree's weakness, and find an opportunity to kill it in a single strike. Soon, more and more human cultivators entered the heavenly palace. Disciples from the 5 academies had also come. Senior Sister Qinglian of the Taishangdao Palace had also entered. When she saw Ling Xiao, Fang Chong, and the others, she brought people to meet up with Ling Xiao. Qinglian's expression became extremely solemn when she heard Ling Xiao mention the illusory demonic ancient tree. She immediately used a special method to contact the god kings of the Taishangdao Palace, wanting to inform them of this matter. In the endless void, Boji stood in the air with a group of demon race experts, radiating an extremely majestic presence. Below Boji, there was a 1,000,000-foot-tall illusory demonic ancient tree rooted in the void. Its thick roots were dormant like dragons, reaching into the depths of the void and absorbing the endless void's energy. The illusory demonic ancient tree was luxuriant with branches and leaves that covered the sky. It radiated a monstrous demonic chi. Its leaves were as black as ink, branded with mysterious patterns, as if they were phantoms of a demon god. From where Boji stood, he could see that the illusory demonic ancient tree seemed to have formed a huge barrier around it. It was like a bubble, misty and mysterious. The human cultivators had already entered the barrier and were immersed in the heavenly palace's illusory demonic realm. Young master, there are already over 1,000 human cultivators who have entered the heavenly palace. There are even 3 god kings. Can we make our move now? Behind Boji, a god king with a tiger's head and a human's body bowed respectfully to Boji. His aura was terrifying and his eyes were cruel. Let's wait a little longer. The god kings of the 5 academies had yet to arrive. If we make our move now, wouldn't we be letting them off easy? This time, I will kill all the god kings of the 5 academies to avenge Close and the other 2. Boji sneered, his gaze becoming incomparably deep and serene. Chapter 1385. Young Lord, the human race is full of cunning and cunning. I'm afraid that the 5 academies have a treasure that can deal with the illusory demonic ancient tree. That would be troublesome. Another demon god king behind Boji advised. He was covered in snake scales and had a feminine aura. Among the 5 academies, the only thing that can threaten the illusory demonic ancient tree is the Thunder Pearl. However, the Thunder Pearl was severely damaged and went missing a few thousand years ago. Therefore, there is no power that can threaten the illusory demonic ancient tree. Listen to my command. As long as the divine kings of the 5 academies enter the heavenly palace, immediately take action and kill them all. Don't let any of them escape. Boji sneered as his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He had paid a huge price this time to convince the elders in the clan to allow him to use the illusory demonic ancient tree. The illusory demonic ancient tree was a trump card that the Heavenly Fiend clan had left in the mythical space a long time ago. It was extremely secretive and almost no one knew about it. If not for Boji's high status in the Heavenly Fiend clan, he would not have used the illusory demonic ancient tree. Moreover, in order to cooperate with Boji's operation, the Heavenly Fiend clan had decided to send experts to attack the ancient city and take it down completely once the illusory demonic ancient tree was exposed. By then, the human race would be severely injured, and the Heavenly Fiend clan would have a bridgehead to attack the realm of the gods. Therefore, the illusory demonic ancient tree was the most important part of the plan. Whether or not they could attract the godly kings from the 5 academies and kill them was the key to the success of the plan. However, Boji did not say this out loud. As long as the plan succeeded, Boji might be able to become the next young clan leader of the Heavenly Fiend clan. At the thought of this, Boji was filled with excitement and fanaticism. Long Outyin, you're here too. This time, I'll catch you with my own hands and burn you to ashes. Boji's deep gaze landed on Ling Xiao, revealing a trace of deep hatred and murderous intent. It's Boji's aura? A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he casually glanced at the sky. He instantly felt Boji's gaze on him. Ling Xiao also sensed the hatred and killing intent in Boji's eyes. Ling Xiao sneered coldly in his heart and said, "If you want to kill me, then let's see if you have this ability. But this illusionary fiend ancient tree is mine." While everyone was fighting over the balls of light, Ling Xiao had been looking for a flaw in the illusory fiend ancient tree. How to sneak into the illusory fiend ancient tree and destroy it with the wordless heavenly book. That was the question Ling Xiao had to consider. Although the illusory fiend ancient tree was strong, the wordless heavenly book was its nemesis. Ling Xiao already had several experiences dealing with the illusory fiend ancient tree. However, the most important thing was how to escape unscathed. Perhaps I can use the Thunder Origin Pearl to create a super thunderstorm? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as his eyes lit up. Ling Xiao had already started to refine the Thunder Origin Pearl, and had also obtained the Thunder Emperor technique. The Thunder Origin Pearl was a Thunder Dao treasure that could control the Thunder Law. In the Heavenly Lightning Sea, it could be said that it was the best opportunity to trigger endless heavenly lightning. If he used the Thunder Origin Pearl to create a super thunderstorm, not only could it divert everyone's attention, but it would also cause great damage to the illusory fiend ancient tree. At that time, Ling Xiao could take the opportunity to enter the illusory fiend ancient tree's body. However, in this way, the Thunder Origin Pearl could be exposed. However, it was much better than the wordless heavenly book being exposed. Moreover, if he planned it well, perhaps the Thunder Origin Pearl would not be exposed. Ling Xiao thought quickly in his heart as he watched more and more experts from the human clan enter the heavenly palace. Moreover, the fight for the balls of light was getting more and more intense. There were already quite a number of casualties. Junior Brother Long, the Godly King Realm experts from the 5 academies have arrived. They are about to break through the illusion. At this moment, Qinglian suddenly transmitted a message to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's eyes widened as he hurriedly asked, "How many Godly King Realm experts from the 5 academies have arrived? If there are too few, I'm afraid there is no way to break through the illusion formed by the illusory fiend ancient tree." Don't worry. This time, the 10 Godly King Realm experts have all arrived. They even brought along the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron. No matter what, we must destroy the illusory fiend ancient tree. Qinglian smiled faintly. The Taizhong Sacred Cauldron. Ling Xiao's heart calmed down. The Taizhong Sacred Cauldron was the treasure that suppressed the Taizhong Ancient City. It was related to the Taizhong Ancient City's fate. It was a flawless sacred treasure with terrifying power. There was a sacred cauldron in each of the 33 ancient cities in the mythical space. According to legend, the 33 sacred cauldrons were a set of top sacred treasures. Not to mention the ordinary demon clan, even a group of saints would be suppressed directly. It seemed that the 5 academies attached great importance to the illusory fiend ancient tree. They even brought out a treasure like the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron. Rumble. Suddenly, the vast starry sky began to tremble violently. The void trembled violently as heaven and earth roared. It was as if some ancient and majestic force was violently attacking the heavenly palace. Has it already begun? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The experts from the 5 academies were indeed fast. However, with the experts from the 5 academies taking the lead and creating chaos, Ling Xiao could take advantage of the chaos to trigger the super thunderstorm. Outside the heavenly palace, 10 figures stood in the air, each of them exuding a terrifying aura, and exuding a vast fluctuation of divine power. In front of them, there was a black ancient cauldron that was tens of thousands of feet tall. It was like an immemorial sacred mountain, exuding a monstrous divine light. This was the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron. Dazzling light filled the air. Auspicious vapors rose, and streaks of divine light traversed the void like divine chains of order. As the 10 godly kings poured their divine power into the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron to activate it, the cauldron slammed into the heavenly palace and erupted with a tsunami-like momentum. The entire heavenly palace began to tremble violently. However, on top of the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron, a 1,000,000-foot-tall illusory fiend ancient tree appeared. It looked like a torrential demonic light, and was incomparably terrifying. Under the illumination of the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron, the true form of the illusory fiend ancient tree was completely revealed. It really is the illusory fiend ancient tree. These demon bastards are really courting death. Let's attack together and destroy them for me. Han Li's eyes flashed sharply as he sneered. Boom. As his voice fell, the 10 godly king powerhouses all used powerful divine abilities and charged towards the vast heavenly palace in front of them. Chapter 1386. Damn it! How did the people from the 5 academies discover the illusory demonic ancient tree? Above the illusory demonic ancient tree, Boji saw the 10 divine kings with the heavy sacred cauldron, and began to attack the illusory realm formed by the illusory demonic ancient tree. He originally planned to lure the divine kings from the 5 academies into the illusory realm, and kill them all. However, he didn't expect that the 10 divine king realm experts in the ancient city would move out at the same time, and they even brought the ancient cauldron with them. Young lord, could it be that someone saw through the illusory realm of the illusory demonic ancient tree, and informed the people from the 5 academies? The tiger-headed demon god king's eyes flashed coldly as he asked Boji. Impossible. Even divine kings and half-saints might not be able to see through the illusory realm formed by the illusory demonic ancient tree. Those bastards from the human race are all attracted by the great fortune. It's impossible for them to see through this. Boji denied flatly. Young lord, it seems like our plan has to be carried out in advance. With the illusory demonic ancient tree in full force, even the 10 demon god kings will die without a doubt. The demon god king who looked like a poisonous snake said slowly, since they don't know what's good for them, let's send them all to hell. Boji's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Although the situation had changed, he did not think that the 10 divine kings and the heavy sacred cauldron could deal with the illusory demonic ancient tree. Moreover, as long as they could delay the 10 divine kings, they would be like turtles in a jar after the Sky Devil clan's experts broke through the ancient city. They would die without a doubt. Rumble. As Boji formed a seal with his hands, a strange sound wave spread out from his mouth. The originally calm illusory demonic ancient tree began to riot at this moment. It emitted a monstrous demonic light, and the resplendent light balls fell down instantly. The illusory demonic ancient tree's seeds emitted a strong aura that completely triggered the killing intent in the hearts of the human race experts. Ha! There are so many treasures and they're all mine. All of you scram. Whoever dares to snatch my treasures will die. The experts of the human race went completely crazy. In front of their eyes, the dazzling Milky Way suddenly exploded. Thousands of dazzling light balls appeared in front of them, each of them revealing treasures that could make people go crazy. Boom. Immediately, many human experts could no longer hold back and began to fight fiercely. In order to fight for the treasures in the balls of light, one after another, blood spilled in the sky. However, what they didn't notice at all was that the corpses and blood that flowed from their bodies mysteriously disappeared into the galaxy. However, at this moment, everyone was dominated by the thought of killing, and they didn't notice the various changes at all. Damn it! Ling Zhao's eyes suddenly became extremely cold. He could see that the corpses and blood were all devoured by the illusory demonic ancient tree. Moreover, the illusory demonic ancient tree was bursting with an even more intense killing aura. Rumble. The heavy sacred cauldron shone brilliantly. It was incomparably holy and mysterious. After another violent collision, the incomparably magnificent heavenly palace was completely shattered. Although the illusion formed by the illusory demonic ancient tree was powerful, it couldn't withstand the power of the heavy sacred cauldron, and completely shattered. At this moment, where was the heavenly palace in front of everyone? Where was the Milky Way? A 1,000,000 feet tall illusory demonic ancient tree took root in the void and floated above the heavenly thunder sea. Black branches drooped down and danced wildly like black poisonous snakes, entangling many human experts and even beginning to devour their flesh and blood. Boom! Streaks of black demonic light flashed across the void like lightning. The illusory demonic ancient tree let out an incomparably sharp demonic howl, causing many human experts to feel dizzy. Their vision turned dark, and their movements became incomparably sluggish. Ah! What is this? Where is the heavenly palace? Where are my treasures and opportunities? Oh my god! Is this the legendary illusory demonic ancient tree of the demon clan? How can it be so terrifying? Ah! Don't kill me. Let me go. Run! Many human experts seemed to have just woken up from a dream. They all screamed and fled in all directions, their eyes filled with terror. Qinglian, Xianwang, Fangsheng, Yiliangchen, and Fang Chong had all maintained sufficient vigilance due to Ling Zhao's warning. The moment the illusion shattered, they all quickly escaped from the illusory demonic ancient tree's attack range. Everyone, let's leave this place first. We can't participate in this kind of battle. The illusory demonic ancient tree's power is too terrifying. Let's leave the heavenly thunder sea first. Ling Xiao said quickly to the crowd with a serious look in his eyes. The illusory demonic ancient tree's power was incomparably terrifying. It far surpassed any illusory demonic ancient tree that Ling Xiao had seen before. Even divine kings seemed insignificant before the illusory demonic ancient tree. Susu, protect them well. At the same time, Ling Xiao secretly transmitted his voice to Bai Susu. Junior brother Long, aren't you coming with us? Qinglian glanced at Ling Xiao and asked. You all go first. Don't worry about me. I'll go and see if I can help. A divine light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he dived into the sky lightning sea. Rumble. In the sky above the heavenly thunder sea, the 10 great divine kings controlled the heavy Saint Cauldron and were engaged in an intense battle with the illusory demonic ancient tree. Every collision was as terrifying as a landslide. Although most of the human experts who had fallen into the illusion had woken up due to the heavy Saint Cauldron breaking the illusion, they had all lost their lives to the illusory demonic ancient tree. Only Chu Yunfan, King Kong, and a few other divine kings who were more vigilant managed to escape from the illusory demonic ancient tree's attack. Moreover, the 10 great divine kings had blocked most of the illusory demonic ancient tree's attacks for them, allowing them to survive. Even so, a large number of human experts were still killed and devoured by the illusory demonic ancient tree. The aura of the illusory demonic ancient tree was getting more and more terrifying. Moreover, Wuxia had brought many spear-wielding experts from the demon clan to kill the human experts who were trying to escape. Capture Long Outyan for me. I want to kill him with my own hands. Wuxia's eyes were cold and filled with cruelty. As he chased after the human experts, he did not forget to order his subordinates to capture Ling Xiao. At this moment, Ling Xiao had already entered the heavenly thunder sea. Buzz. The thunder origin bead floated in front of Ling Xiao, emitting a mysterious and majestic aura. Streaks of purple lightning spread out, and the incomparably violent lightning laws in the sky seemed to be attracted by the thunder origin bead at this moment, gathering towards the thunder origin bead. PS 4th update. Brothers, rest early. In the future, there will be 4 chapters every day. Muyu will try to explode again in a few days. Thank you. Chapter 1387. The Thunder Source Pearl was a treasure bestowed by the 9-layered Imperial Obelisk. With the Thunder Source Pearl, Sky Sword, Tyrant, and the disciples of the Great Zhou Academy improved by leaps and bounds when they cultivated the Thunder King Divine technique. It was as if the heavens were helping them because the Thunder Source Pearl could gather the law of thunder and control the divine lightning of the heavens. The heavenly lightning sea contained the majestic law of thunder and was extremely chaotic. It was like a barrel of gunpowder that would explode once ignited. The Thunder Source Pearl was the fuse. Under Ling Xiao's urging, the Thunder Source Pearl shone brightly like a purple divine sun. It attracted the vast amount of lightning from all directions and gathered towards the sea. Rumble. Above the sky, dark clouds pressed down and strong winds howled. Endless lightning gathered and intertwined, as if forming a vast lightning domain. Purple, silver, and golden lightning converged, containing an incomparably terrifying destructive power, enveloping the illusory demonic ancient tree. At the beginning, no one noticed this change. However, when the endless thunderbolts intertwined and turned the place into a blazing thunderstorm, everyone felt that something was amiss. Especially Boji and the other experts of the Devil Clan, their faces turned green. Can anyone tell me why a thunderstorm is formed here? And why is it such a terrifying super thunderstorm? Boji's face was gloomy, his eyes filled with anger and disbelief. Although the illusion fiend ancient tree was extremely terrifying, it was the same as the other demon experts. It was afraid of attacks with extreme yang energy, such as fire and lightning, which could cause multiple times the damage. Only when a demon became a saint could they completely make up for this weakness. But now, a super thunderstorm was about to erupt. Even if the illusion fiend ancient tree could withstand it, it would probably be severely injured by the super thunderstorm. The 10 God Kings had brought along the heavy sacred cauldron, which was already troublesome enough. Who would have thought that a super thunderstorm would appear at this time? It was simply one disaster after another. Young master, the source of the super thunderstorm is in the heavenly lightning sea. I think someone is behind this. I'll go and kill him. The God King, who looked like a venomous snake, had a murderous look in his eyes. He instantly sensed the source of the super thunderstorm. Capture him for me. No matter who he is, anyone who dares to ruin my plans must die. Boji's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He flew into a rage and roared while gnashing his teeth. Yes, the demon God King's eyes were cold as he shot towards the heavenly lightning sea. Rumble. However, at this moment, the incomparable lightning nomological laws started to boil like boiling water. Terrifying divine light swept out in all directions as bolts of lightning exploded. They traversed the void like divine chains of order, containing extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. The divine light was like a blazing net that enveloped the entire illusory demonic ancient tree. Dense lightning bolts, as thick as mountains, fell from the ninth heaven and unleashed the most terrifying attack on the illusory demonic ancient tree. The illusory demonic ancient tree seemed to have sensed the danger as well. Numerous black branches, like poisonous snakes, traversed the void and constantly contended against the lightning bolts. At the same time, it emitted a black demonic aura that formed a huge boundary, like a heavenly canopy, to protect itself. The super thunderstorm was too terrifying. Even a divine king expert would die if he was not careful. There were even a few experts from the human clan who did not manage to escape in time. They were swept up by the super thunderstorm and exploded into a bloody mist in an instant. This place seemed to have become a sea of lightning. Unparalleled lightning bolts were everywhere. The demon god king did not even have time to enter the heavenly lightning sea. Ling Xiao had already kept the thunder source pearl, and then used the sky-shrouding secret technique to conceal his aura. In an instant, he disappeared from the demon god king's senses. After the demon god king rushed into the heavenly lightning sea, not only did he not discover anything, but he was also severely injured by the super thunderstorm. He coughed up blood and was sent flying. This is a good opportunity. Fellow Taoists, let's break the defense of the illusory demonic ancient tree together. It will definitely be severely injured. Elder Han Li's eyes lit up as he suddenly roared. The divine power around him was frantically poured into the heavy sage cauldron. The other 9 divine kings also knew that this was a good opportunity. They all erupted with their strongest powers and began to give it their all. Buzz. The heavy sage cauldron shone brightly like an eternal divine mountain. It emitted an ancient and heavy aura. A mysterious sound wave spread out as if it was the chanting of ancient ancestors. It also seemed like the blessing of the gods and devils in the heavens. It made the heavy sage cauldron's light surpass everything in an instant and become eternal. Boom! The heavy sage cauldron suddenly slammed towards the illusory demonic ancient tree. A powerful holy light spread out, causing this attack to contain the power to destroy the heavens and earth. No! Wuxia roared as his eyes instantly turned red. The threat of the heavy sage cauldron was too great. It even surpassed the 10 divine kings. After all, it was the treasure of destiny of the heavy ancient city. Even if the illusory demonic ancient tree wanted to deal with the heavy sage cauldron, it would have to pay a great price. Now the illusory demonic ancient tree was covered by the super thunderstorm, and was trying its best to resist the destructive power of the super thunderstorm. At this moment, the power of the heavy sage cauldron had completely erupted. The illusory demonic ancient tree had no way to resist. It could only watch as the heavy sage cauldron slammed into the black barrier. Crack! As if the heavens and earth were collapsing, the black barrier instantly shattered. The heavy sage cauldron was filled with eternal holy light as it slammed into the illusory demonic ancient tree. In an instant, countless black branches exploded and turned into fine powder. The illusory demonic ancient tree also let out an extremely tragic howl. The heavy sage cauldron broke through the layers of demonic light and slammed into the tree trunk, creating a huge black hole in the illusory demonic ancient tree. At the same time, the super thunderstorm also completely erupted. It poured into the broken trunk of the illusory demonic ancient tree like a flash flood, causing even more damage. Good chance. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with divine light. He instantly used the heaven-shrouding secret technique. His entire body seemed to have become part of the endless thunder. His speed was extremely fast. He did not alert anyone at all as he flew directly into the body of the illusory demonic ancient tree. Roar! 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 The illusory demonic ancient tree seemed to be completely enraged. It actually let out a roar like an Archean fierce beast. Endless demonic light surged around it, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. The vast heavenly thunder sea actually separated to 2 sides at this moment, revealing an unfathomable abyss at the bottom of the sea. Endless demonic chi gushed out from the heavenly thunder sea. Chapter 1388. You despicable and shameless humans, Leave your lives behind today. Boji roared again and again. His hands rapidly formed seals, and incomparably strange syllables came out of his mouth. Moreover, behind him, the shadow of an incomparably mysterious illusory demonic ancient tree seemed to have appeared, standing at the peak of the Milky Way, propping up the vast heavens and earth. There seemed to be a strange connection between him and the illusory demonic ancient tree. Under his control, it started to attack the experts of the human tribe in a frenzy. Oh no! The illusory demonic ancient tree is going berserk. Take advantage of its weakness and kill it quickly. Han Li's face changed as he roared. The berserk state of the illusory demonic ancient tree was when it was severely injured and on the verge of death. Although it had to pay a huge price, it was enough to make the illusory demonic ancient tree invincible. Needless to say, Boji was controlling the illusory demonic ancient tree, and the experts of the demon tribe were watching from the side. The situation was getting more and more critical. Rumble. The heavy sage cauldron was once again activated by the 10 great divine kings. Its aura was terrifying as it launched an extremely fierce attack on the illusory demonic ancient tree. Every collision was like a tsunami. The aura was monstrous, causing countless branches of the illusory demonic ancient tree to explode. The tree was also turned into dust by the endless thunderbolts. Even so, the aura of the illusory demonic ancient tree was still gradually increasing. Especially after devouring the demonic light that erupted from the bottom of the sea, its power increased rapidly. Although the heavy sage cauldron had cut off the demonic realm power that erupted from the bottom of the sea, it still gave the illusory demonic ancient tree a chance to breathe and counterattack. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The collision between the heavy sage cauldron and the illusory demonic ancient tree became more and more intense. However, Han Li and the others' faces were turning pale. They vaguely realized that the heavy sage cauldron was showing signs of not being able to suppress the illusory demonic ancient tree. If this continued, they might not be able to do anything to the illusory demonic ancient tree when their divine power was exhausted. Black Donkey, do you think that super thunderstorm was caused by Big Brother? Why do I feel that it was caused by him? On a thunder mountain at the edge of the battlefield, Yi Liangchen looked at the intense battle in the distance with suspicion as he asked Black Donkey. Isn't that obvious? Other than that brat, who else could make such a big scene? The super thunderstorm is fatal to the illusory demon ancient tree. It seems like we should be able to exterminate the illusory demon ancient tree this time. The Black Donkey snickered, looking very confident. This time, the devil race had set up a trap in the heavenly palace, which had attracted countless experts of the human race. However, except for a few who were more vigilant and managed to escape after the heavenly cauldron broke through the illusion, most of the others were killed by the illusory devil ancient tree. Everyone's hearts were filled with worry for this battle. The strength of the illusory demonic ancient tree was like a huge mountain that pressed down on everyone's hearts. However, you shouldn't be worried about this battle. You should be worried about the ancient city. The devil race has attracted the experts of the 5 great academies here. Even the ancient city's cauldron has been brought here. Now that the ancient city is empty, if the devil race's experts break into the ancient city, it will be a big joke. The Black Donkey's eyes flashed as he slowly said to everyone. His words immediately caused the expressions of Xianwang, Qinglian, Fangsheng and Fangcheng to change. Their attention was focused on the battle in front of them. However, after the Black Donkey's reminder, they suddenly felt that the possibility of this happening was very high. If the ancient city fell into the hands of the devil race would have a bridgehead to attack the god realm. That would be a devastating blow to the human tribe. In the past few years, although there were casualties in the war between the human tribe and the devil race, the human tribe was able to completely shut out the devil race because of the 33 ancient cities. They even treated the devil race as training and hunting targets. Qinglian's expression became extremely solemn. This possibility is very high. The heavenly devil race is very cunning and treacherous. Now that the ancient city is weak, and there is no heavy holy cauldron to suppress it, once the devil race's experts attack, the consequences will be unimaginable. Everyone, I will return to the ancient city first and contact all the experts to resist the devil race. You all think of a way to inform the 10 great divine king elders. Tell them to immediately return to the ancient city after ending the battle here. Qinglian quickly said to everyone. Yes. Feng Chong nodded and said with a serious look. After Qinglian finished speaking, she immediately left the Sky Lightning Sea and used the Divine Escape Heavenly Talisman to quickly return to the ancient city. I hope the 10 great divine kings can kill the illusion demonic ancient tree as soon as possible. Otherwise, the ancient city will be in danger. Feng Xing muttered to himself with a look of deep worry in his eyes. Rumble. In the distance, the collision between the heavy holy cauldron and the illusion demonic ancient tree became more and more intense. For a moment, it seemed to be in a stalemate. No one could do anything to the other. Han Li and the other 10 great divine kings' eyes were filled with anxiety. In the Sky Lightning Sea, the divine power in their bodies could not be replenished. On the other hand, the illusion demonic ancient tree's power seemed to be endless. Moreover, it could absorb the energy in the endless void through its roots. If this continued, they were afraid that they would soon run out of divine power, and would not be able to activate the heavy holy cauldron. Fellow Taoists, we can't go on like this. Otherwise, we won't be able to hold on for long. Han Li said with a serious look. Fellow Taoist Han, do you have any good ideas? A white-haired old man's eyes flashed as he asked. He was an elder of the Sky Sword Academy and sword intent surged around him. His entire being was like a divine sword that had been unsheathed, its sharpness radiating in all directions. The illusion demonic ancient tree is now severely injured. The reason it is still in a stalemate with us is because of Bo Jia of the Heavenly Devil clan. I plan to take action later, and think of a way to kill Bo Jia. Then you guys will take the opportunity to attack the illusion demonic ancient tree. It should be effective. Han Li's eyes revealed a trace of decisiveness as he slowly said. Fellow Taoist Han, if you leave the protection of the heavy holy cauldron, I'm afraid you will be in great danger. Not only the 2 demon god kings, but even the illusion demonic ancient tree will attack you. An old woman from the Imperial Academy said slowly. We can't care so much. If this continues, we will all die. We have to take some risks. Wait for my command. When I take action, you guys will attack the illusion demonic ancient tree. Han Li said resolutely with a trace of crazy and powerful fighting spirit in his eyes. In that case, fellow Taoist Han, be careful. Chapter 1389. Boom. The heavy sacred cauldron and the illusory demonic ancient tree collided violently once again. Demonic light rose, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. Just as Han Li was about to make his move, the illusory demonic ancient tree suddenly let out an incomparably shrill and angry howl. The illusory demonic ancient tree's aura seemed to rapidly weaken at this moment, as if something was sucking away its vitality. It was incomparably angry and even somewhat fearful. Good chance. Continue to attack the illusory demonic ancient tree. Han Li's eyes lit up as he said decisively. Although he did not know why the illusory demonic ancient tree had undergone such a drastic change, he knew that this was a good opportunity. As the saying goes, take advantage of the enemy's weakness. As long as he seized the opportunity to severely injure the illusory demonic ancient tree, the illusory demonic ancient tree would undoubtedly die. Rumble. The heavy sacred cauldron shone brilliantly, and once again blasted towards the illusory demonic ancient tree. At this moment, inside the illusory demonic ancient tree's body, Ling Zhao's aura was ethereal and mysterious, completely shrouded by the heaven-shrouding secret skill. His body was covered by a layer of demonic light, but the wordless heavenly book was madly devouring the power of the illusory demonic ancient tree. At this moment, Ling Zhao was like a black hole, exuding an incomparably terrifying devouring power. The wordless heavenly book floated in Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness, shining brightly like the sun. Ling Zhao's glabella glowed. The majestic demonic power in the illusory demonic ancient tree had no resistance in front of the wordless heavenly book, and began to be devoured frantically. It was precisely because the wordless heavenly book was devouring the power of the illusory demonic ancient tree that strange changes were occurring in the outside world. This was also the reason why Ling Xiao did not dare to release the wordless heavenly book and expose it completely in front of everyone. Otherwise, the illusory demonic ancient tree would have been completely devoured by the wordless heavenly book. Even with the heaven-shrouding secret skills concealment, the majestic power and life essence of the illusory demonic ancient tree were constantly being devoured by the wordless heavenly book. It even began to emit incomparably terrifying fluctuations. Boom! The vast energy was devoured by the wordless heavenly book, and strands of essence surged into Ling Xiao's body, turning into a vast ocean of energy. Ling Xiao's divine force began to fill up rapidly, pushing his cultivation to skyrocket. Ling Xiao had used over 100 drops of saint liquid to break through to the mid-sky god realm. Originally, it would have taken a long time to break through to the late sky god realm, or even the great circle sky god realm, even with the support of the saint liquid. However, the life essence of the illusory fiend tree was not inferior to the saint liquid at all. Furthermore, it was extremely vast. Even though most of the energy had been devoured by the wordless heavenly tome, just a sliver of energy was enough to push Ling Xiao's cultivation to an extremely terrifying level. Early middle stage of the heavenly god stage, middle stage of the heavenly god stage, high stage of the heavenly god stage, peak of the heavenly god stage. The life source in Ling Xiao's body also became more and more majestic. His entire body radiated a strange light. His body was crystal clear, his divine force was vast like the ocean, and his soul was pure and flawless. As the wordless heavenly tome devoured the energy of the illusory fiend tree, Ling Xiao's heart force also began to slowly grow. Before long, Ling Xiao's cultivation had broken through to the late sky god realm. Moreover, the breakthrough was still ongoing. Bastard! Who's devouring the energy of the illusory fiend tree? Sheku tiger demon, go kill that bastard for me. Boji was about to go mad with rage. His eyes were filled with insanity. He was mentally connected to the illusory demon ancient tree. The moment the illusory demon ancient tree began to act strangely, he also sensed that there was a mysterious existence within the illusory demon ancient tree that was madly devouring and stealing its power. Most importantly, the speed at which the existence was stealing the energy of the illusory fiend tree was terrifying. In such a short period of time, the illusory fiend tree had lost 1% of its energy. If this continued, it would not be long before the illusory fiend tree was completely sucked dry. At the same time, a great sense of fear enveloped Boji. He could not think of any living being that could devour the energy of the illusory fiend tree with such terrifying efficiency. If this continued, the Heavenly Fiend clan's plan would really fail completely because of this unforeseen event. If that happened, even if Boji returned to the clan, he would probably receive the harshest punishment. Yes. Sheku and Tiger Demon's eyes flashed. Under Boji's guidance, they instantly flew towards the illusory fiend tree. Hanli had been watching Boji's movements. When he saw that Sheku and Tiger Demon had left Boji and were flying towards the illusory fiend tree, he immediately followed. Boom! Dark golden blood rose from his body. He stood tall as he threw a punch at the two demon god kings. The terrifying fist print seemed to be able to punch a hole in the sky. Han Li's undying war body had been cultivated to the 5th level, triple deity transformation dragon. His physical body was extremely terrifying. He could even take on a godly monarch weapon with his bare hands, let alone two demon god kings. You're courting death. Sheku and Tiger Demon's expression changed. Their eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent. Bang! The two demon god kings also attacked at the same time, taking Han Li's fist head-on. Suddenly, the void rumbled and the heaven and earth trembled. That unparalleled divine power exploded. Han Li's figure only swayed slightly, but Sheku and Tiger Demon were sent flying dozens of feet away. Their blood was in turmoil, and their eyes were filled with shock. The two of them had never fought with Han Li, so they could not imagine that a human expert could have such terrifying physical strength. Demon brat, you want to check out the situation inside the illusory fiend tree, right? Hee with me here, you won't be able to go anywhere. Han Li sneered. His eyes were filled with frenzied battle intent. He had long guessed that something must have happened to the illusory fiend tree. Otherwise, it would not have weakened so rapidly. Although he did not know the reason, as long as the demons wanted to do something, he would naturally stop them. He had to stop the two demon god kings, Sheku and Tiger Demon. If the situation inside the illusory fiend tree was not resolved, it would naturally become weaker and weaker. In the end, it would be completely killed by them. Kacha. The heavy sacred cauldron was filled with resplendent light. It attracted the lightning that filled the sky, turning into divine chains of order. It instantly pierced through the illusory fiend tree, causing its injuries to worsen. Chapter 1390. The wordless heavenly book was the nemesis of the illusory demonic ancient tree. No matter how strong the illusory demonic ancient tree was, once the wordless heavenly book invaded its body, it would constantly devour the tree's energy and life essence until it was completely devoured. Ling Xiao had encountered the illusory demonic ancient tree several times from the war god's world to the divine world. It could be said that he was more scared than hurt. Relying on the wordless heavenly book's ability to devour the illusory demonic ancient tree, his cultivation base increased greatly. In Ling Xiao's eyes, the illusory demonic ancient tree was simply a gift. Every time it appeared, it was a great opportunity for Ling Xiao. Originally, Ling Xiao did not know how long it would take to break through to the complete heavenly god realm. However, with the help of the illusory demonic ancient tree, Ling Xiao's breakthrough time was greatly accelerated. After refining a large amount of the illusory demonic ancient tree's life essence, Ling Xiao's cultivation base was pushed to the complete heavenly god realm in one go. One must know that in the divine world, even for those with peerless talent like Tiangang, Ji Yuanlong, and Qinglian, it would still take them hundreds of years or even longer to cultivate from the divine spirit realm to the heavenly god realm. However, Ling Xiao had only been in the divine world for 3 years, and he had already reached his current level. This kind of breakthrough speed could simply be described as world-shaking. After all, the cultivation of the divine realm required constant polishing of the small world and Godhead, comprehending the laws of heaven and earth, and then finding one's own path to the divine path. With his cultivation base reaching the complete heavenly god realm, coupled with Ling Xiao's combat strength, he was not afraid to fight anyone from the 5 major academies. After breaking through to the complete heavenly god realm, Ling Xiao began to suppress his cultivation base. He did not choose to break through in a hurry. Instead, he used the majestic energy of the illusory demonic ancient tree to temper his physical body and cultivate the indestructible war body. On his chest, the 5 viscera sacred palaces emitted a bright light, like 5 small suns. The divine light was dazzling. As the wordless heavenly book gave back more and more energy, his physical body also became more and more powerful. His entire body was like a crystal clear, untainted by dust, mysterious and unfathomable. At this moment, Wuxia was about to go crazy. The 2 demon kings, Serpent Ku and Tiger Mo, were stopped by Hanli. The heavy cauldron was bombarding the illusory demonic ancient tree. The illusory demonic ancient tree was facing both internal and external threats, and it was gradually becoming unable to bear it. Rumble. A large number of branches and leaves exploded, and the trunk of the phantom demon ancient tree was severely damaged. The endless demonic energy was reduced to nothingness by the lightning. Damn it! If I find out who's behind all this, I'll definitely kill him and tear him to pieces. Boji's eyes were bloodshot, and his entire being had gone crazy. The trap he set up with the illusory fiend ancient tree could have been said to be foolproof, but who would have thought that so many unforeseen events would occur? At this point, the illusory fiend ancient tree was actually beginning to be unable to withstand the pressure, and was about to be destroyed. Boji's heart could not help but tremble at the thought of how furious the elders would be if the illusion demon ancient tree was destroyed. Boji already had the thought of retreating. If he continued to stay, he would not be able to escape death once the illusory demon ancient tree was killed by the heavy Saint Cauldron. However, he was not willing to run away just like that. Even if he wanted to escape, he had to do something. Rumble. After another violent collision, the heavy Saint Cauldron blasted a huge hole in the huge illusory fiend ancient tree. Endless demonic light spewed out, and the illusory fiend ancient tree's aura became increasingly weak. The thought in Boji's mind instantly became firm. Humans who have been forced, don't you want to destroy the illusory fiend ancient tree? Since that's the case, let's die together. Haha. Boji's eyes were filled with madness as he suddenly roared. Rumble. He formed a seal with his hands and communicated with the true spirit of the illusory fiend ancient tree. An extremely violent aura erupted from the illusory fiend ancient tree, and an extremely chaotic aura surged as if it was about to self-destruct. The self-destruction of the illusory fiend ancient tree was much more terrifying than the self-destruction of a godly king expert. Even if a sage-to-be expert was present, there would be nothing left of him in the self-destruction of the illusory fiend ancient tree. Within the illusory fiend ancient tree, Ling Zhao's eyes flashed when he realized that Boji actually wanted the illusory fiend ancient tree to self-destruct and perish together with the 10 human godly kings. Ling Zhao could not help but sigh in admiration. Boji was truly ruthless. Although Ling Zhao could devour the energy of the illusory fiend ancient tree, once the illusory fiend ancient tree decided to self-destruct, even Ling Zhao with the wordless heavenly book would not be able to stop it. What a pity! Ling Zhao sighed softly. Then he directly dug out the dozens of illusory fiend ancient tree's cores from the illusory fiend ancient tree. He instantly turned into a mysterious stream of light and left the illusory fiend ancient tree, entering the sky lightning sea along with the lightning that filled the sky. The wordless heavenly book had already refined more than half of the illusory fiend ancient tree's life origin, but there was still a small portion of energy that had not been completely refined. Ling Zhao naturally felt that it was a pity that the illusory fiend ancient tree would self-destruct. Oh no! When the godly kings heard Boji's words, their expressions changed as they frantically activated the heavy saint cauldron. Wang. The heavy saint cauldron shone brightly, exuding an incomparably strange energy that enveloped the godly kings. Even Han Li, who had repelled Serpent Ku and Tiger Demon at the last moment, entered the defensive range of the heavy saint cauldron. Boom. The illusory fiend ancient tree emitted a terrifying demonic light. Demonic chi was so dense that it seemed to form countless phantoms of the demon god. A mysterious sound wave spread out, and the entire illusory fiend ancient tree exploded in an instant. The terrifying energy swept out in all directions. The power of the illusory fiend ancient tree's self-destruction directly broke the barrier of the divine devil space, tearing the sky apart and sweeping out in all directions, turning the dozens of lightning mountains in the surroundings into dust. The heavy saint cauldron was the first to bear the brunt of the impact. Endless divine light exploded as the heavy saint cauldron hummed. The 10 godly kings were struck by lightning as they spat out mouthfuls of blood. Their auras weakened, and their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. If it wasn't for the power of the heavy saint cauldron, they wouldn't have just been injured. Their souls would have been completely scattered by now. Boji was incomparably ruthless this time. He made the illusory fiend ancient tree explode, enveloping all the demon race experts within it. Serpent Ku, Tiger Demon, and many other demon race experts were turned into dust in this explosion. However, Boji had disappeared before everyone's eyes, and no one knew where he went. We must capture Boji, he must die. A demon god king's eyes were cold, and his voice was incomparably chilling. He began to search for Buoxuan's traces and aura. Ling Zhao, who was originally in the heavenly lightning sea, wasn't too affected by the explosion. He had already escaped the range of the illusory fiend ancient tree's self-destruction. Boji still managed to escape? But I'm afraid you won't be able to escape this time. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed sharply. He instantly flew away from the heavenly lightning sea towards the abyss demon world's passageway. Chapter 1391. Rumble. The self-destruction of the illusory demon ancient tree turned the heavenly thunder sea into a vacuum. Endless thunderbolts gushed out, forming a chaotic thunder territory. Many human clan experts who did not manage to escape in time were turned into ashes. Moreover, if not for the heavy sacred cauldron blocking most of the power of the explosion, the area would have expanded. Swoosh! 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 After the explosion of the illusory fiend ancient tree calmed down, the eyes of the 10 great divine kings flashed as they flew towards the area where the illusory fiend ancient tree exploded. The heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree was not left behind? Did Boji take it all away? Han Li's eyes flashed as he said with disappointment. The reason why they were so diligent was to obtain the heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree. They were already divine kings. If they wanted to embark on the divine path in the future, the accumulation of divine kings was very important. The heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree contained boundless energy that was extremely important to them. Probably not. Boji only detonated the illusory fiend ancient tree and fled. He did not have the time to collect the heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree. I'm afraid it's someone else. A middle-aged man in a dragon robe from the Great Zhou Academy said slowly as his eyes flashed. He looked very similar to Ji Huang. He was Ji Huang's twin brother, Ji Jun. He was the vice principal of the Great Zhou Academy. He held a high position and was extremely powerful. Someone else? It can't be. Who can take the heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree away under our noses? A white-haired old man from the Sky Sword Academy frowned slightly as he said in disbelief. That's not necessarily true. Don't forget that the illusory fiend ancient tree was originally very powerful. Coupled with Boji's control, even if we used the heavy sacred cauldron, it would be very difficult to suppress it in a short period of time. However, the illusory fiend ancient tree suddenly became extremely weak. Someone must be stealing the power of the illusory fiend ancient tree. The heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree must be in the hands of that person. If we can find him, we can get the heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree. Ji Jun's eyes flashed with a glimmer. The person in the dark, I'm afraid that he has already left. It's probably very difficult to find him. Moreover, he has the ability to avoid the detection of so many of us. I'm afraid his strength is not below ours. Han Li shook his head and said. He didn't have much hope. Let's search. Ji Jun said non-committally. Whoosh. At this moment, Fang Sheng, Fang Cheng, and the others flew over from afar. Greetings, elders. Something big has happened in the ancient city. Fang Sheng was sweating profusely. Fang Cheng's face was also filled with anxiety. What happened? The expressions of Han Li and the others changed, and they immediately asked solemnly. When the elders were besieging the phantom demonic ancient tree, the experts of the Heavenly Devil clan suddenly charged into the ancient city. They are now engaged in a fierce battle, and the ancient city is in imminent danger. Elders, please hurry back to the ancient city, Fang Sheng hurriedly said. These bastards are really courting death. Let's go. Han Li, Ji Jun, and the others looked at each other, their eyes filled with murderous intent. They drove the cauldrons into the sky and flew towards the ancient city. Their hearts were incomparably heavy. As for the phantom demonic ancient tree heart, they had already thrown it to the back of their minds. If the ancient city was breached by the Heavenly Devil clan, it would definitely be a huge matter that would shock the entire divine world. They brought the cauldrons out. Now that the ancient city was empty, if the Heavenly Devil clan had long planned this, the ancient city would really be in danger. On the other side, Ling Xiao used the sky-shrouding secret technique to conceal his aura. It was as though he had turned into a part of the lightning as he traveled through the heavenly lightning sea. Ling Xiao guessed that Bojie would definitely want to return to the devil world through the abyss passageway at the bottom of the heavenly lightning sea. Hence, Ling Xiao simply went in the direction of the abyss passageway. Ling Xiao used the teleportation secret technique to travel thousands of miles in an instant. His speed was extremely fast, and soon he arrived at the abyss passageway. The abyss passageway in front of him was still pitch black. It was spewing out black demonic light as though there was an incomparably mysterious and ancient aura escaping from it. Bojie shouldn't be here yet. Ling Xiao's gaze flickered as he guessed that Bojie should not be here yet. Ling Xiao went directly to the entrance of the abyss passageway. With a flash of light in his hand, dozens of divine talismans appeared. He used an extremely ingenious method to hide them in those black rocks. Moreover, their auras intertwined with each other, fusing into one with the surrounding demonic aura. Ling Xiao believed that these divine talismans would definitely give Bojie a huge surprise. After all, Bojie was a genius powerhouse of the Heavenly Devil clan. He had many tricks up his sleeves and definitely had a lot of treasures on him. Ling Xiao only hoped to kill him in the shortest time possible. He had never thought of fighting him alone. If a few demon god kings rushed out of the abyss passageway, it would be a big joke. Ling Xiao arranged everything and once again concealed himself in the sea. Not long after, Wuxia indeed appeared. Wuxia was dressed in a black robe. His figure was robust, and his face was full of vigilance. His eyes were filled with unwillingness and anger. He simply could not understand how his ingenious plan had failed. In the end, he was even forced to detonate the illusion fiend ancient tree. Every time he thought of the fellow who had stolen the energy from the illusion fiend ancient tree, he gnashed his teeth in anger. He could not wait to tear that fellow into pieces. If it was not for that bastard, the illusion fiend ancient tree would have killed all the powerhouses of the human clan. Wuxia was furious. If he had the chance to catch that bastard, he would definitely turn him into ashes to vent the hatred in his heart. Now I can only return to the clan. But I will be back sooner or later. Wuxia stood at the entrance of the abyss passageway, and looked up as he muttered to himself. Since you are here, why are you in such a hurry to leave? Why don't you leave your life behind? At this moment, an indifferent and calm voice rang out in the sky thunder sea. Who is it? Wuxia's body trembled. His eyes suddenly became incomparably cold as he looked in the direction of the voice. Oh no! However, Wuxia suddenly felt an extremely palpitating feeling. He did not even think about it, and wanted to flee to the side. Clang! A snow-white saber light lit up silently. Like a vast heavenly river, it slashed down from the sky above Wuxia. It contained a monstrous holy brilliance and was unparalleled in its sharpness. This was a flawless holy treasure saber. Wuxia immediately sensed it. Chapter 1392. Rumble. The blazing blade light slashed on the small black shield, bursting into dazzling divine light. The void rumbled as lightning spurted out. The scene was terrifying. Wuxia was forced to descend and enter the abyss passageway, due to the terrifying divine power of the blade. However, an even greater crisis had erupted. Rumble. Dazzling divine talismans lit up around Wuxia and intertwined with each other. Divine light crisscrossed like divine chains. Terrifying energy fluctuations erupted in an instant, forming an incomparably chaotic domain that enveloped Wuxia. This was the killing trap that Ling Xiao had set for Wuxia. He used the mysterious Kuan sword to force Wuxia into the abyss passageway before detonating dozens of divine talismans. It was as if dozens of heavenly gods were detonating around Wuxia at the same time. The terrifying energy multiplied. Even a true divine king would be severely injured by the explosion. Let alone Wuxia, who was only in the complete heavenly god realm. He could not avoid this killing trap. Ah, who is it? I'll definitely kill you. Wuxia roared angrily. His eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent and anger. At this moment, he was on the verge of going crazy. He was already full of resentment when he was forced to detonate the phantom fiend ancient tree. He did not expect that someone would set up an ambush and trap at the abyss passageway, instantly putting him in danger. Rumble. Black demonic light gushed out from Wuxia's body. Countless ancient talismans appeared on his black robe and intertwined with each other, forming a powerful defensive barrier that resisted the power of the dozens of divine talismans. However, when the 5 elemental divine talisman exploded, the power of the 5 elements reinforced and restrained each other, causing the chaotic domain to become even more terrifying. Even the powerful defensive treasure on Wuxia's body was instantly torn apart. Wuxia was enveloped by a terrifying divine light. Only his miserable shrieks could be heard as blazing demonic light gushed out from within. Kill. Ling Xiao's eyes were extremely cold. Golden blood rose from his body as if there were 5 small suns erupting from his chest. The invincible battle body was fully activated by him. Then a dazzling fist burst out. It was like the fist of a celestial emperor, suppressing all enemies and containing peerless killing power. Ling Xiao knew that those dozens of talismans would most likely not be able to kill Wuxia, so he didn't give Wuxia any chance to catch his breath and directly unleashed another fatal blow. Rumble. When the explosion of the divine talisman gradually dissipated, Wuxia rushed out of it with his body in tatters. He kept coughing out blood, and his eyes were filled with crazy killing intent. At the same time, Ling Xiao's fist was right in front of him. Long out, Yin, you deserve to die. As the saying goes, when enemies meet, their eyes blaze with hatred. When Boji realized that all of this was caused by Ling Xiao, he was about to go crazy. Monstrous demonic light erupted from his body. His eyes turned black and white at this moment, as if yin and yang were intertwined. A black and white divine light intertwined and shot toward Ling Xiao. It was like the light of yin and yang that separated life and death. It shot towards Ling Xiao's forehead, wanting to destroy his primordial spirit directly. This black and white divine light was extremely terrifying. Even if a divine king expert was caught off guard, he would probably be severely injured. However, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He didn't care about it, and continued to throw a punch at Boji. You're courting death, Boji said with a sneer. The black and white divine light was his innate ability, the demonic lines of life and death. It targeted the primordial spirit directly, and its power was extremely terrifying. However, it also placed a heavy burden on Boji. If it wasn't for his extreme hatred for Ling Xiao, he wouldn't have used the demonic lines of life and death. Puff. The demonic lines of life and death shot into Ling Xiao's forehead. Ling Xiao's punch also landed heavily on Boji's chest. Boji's body trembled. His incomparably strong physique had been destroyed by Ling Xiao's punch. Ling Xiao's invincible battle body was at level 4 complete realm. In addition to his already terrifying physique, his punch was extremely powerful. Even a divine king expert wouldn't dare to take it head-on. Therefore, it could be said that Boji had hit an iron plate. What made Boji feel incredulous was that Ling Xiao didn't seem to be injured at all when the demonic lines of life and death shot into his forehead. Boji also lost the ability to sense the demonic lines of life and death. How is this possible? How can you resist the attack of the demonic lines of life and death? Do you have a saint treasure that defends the primordial spirit? Damn it! Boji gritted his teeth. His eyes were filled with anger. Although he was a genius of the heavenly demon clan, he wasn't qualified to have a saint treasure. Moreover, the most powerful half-step saint treasure had been completely destroyed. Now it couldn't even resist Ling Xiao's attack. He guessed that Ling Xiao must have a saint treasure that defends the demonic lines of life and death in his sea of consciousness. However, what he didn't expect was that Ling Xiao didn't have a saint treasure that defends the primordial spirit, but the wordless heavenly book. The moment the demonic lines of life and death shot into Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, it was swallowed by the wordless heavenly book. Buzz. Boji's primordial spirit floated in the void. He trembled slightly and wanted to shoot into the abyss passageway. He was completely terrified. Ling Xiao's strength was far beyond his imagination. It was very likely that he would die here. Leave your life here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The mysterious Koan sword was mighty and blazing. Another sword slashed down at Boji. Grandpa, save me. Boji's eyes revealed a trace of despair. He couldn't help but roar crazily. Boom. Suddenly, a vast and majestic aura erupted from Boji's primordial spirit. Dazzling demonic light gushed out, and an old man with white hair and beard emerged. He looked sage-like and was no different from a human clan expert. However, he had a pair of extremely demonic blue eyes and an incomparably majestic face. Who dares to kill my grandson? A monstrous voice exploded in the heavenly thunder sea. It was like a sudden clap of thunder that made Ling Xiao's ears buzz. In front of this old man, he felt like a small boat in the middle of a raging storm. He was in danger of capsizing at any time. A saint. This old man must be a saint expert. Ling Xiao's heart trembled. That terrifying and eternal aura could trigger the power of the laws of heaven and earth. Only a saint could do that. Behind Boji, there was actually a devil saint. This was something that Ling Xiao did not expect. However, Ling Xiao didn't show the slightest fear. He sneered and said, "It's just a primordial spirit brand. What's there to be arrogant about? Die." Chapter 1393. Get lost. The old man's eyes flashed with killing intent as he slapped his palm across the sky. The terrifying palm print was like a divine mountain that pressed down on the heavens. In Ling Xiao's eyes, it was as if the palm came from an endless distance, causing his body to tremble. Bang! The mysterious Kuran sword was sent flying by the old man's palm. This old man's strength was terrifying to the extreme. However, Ling Xiao could see that the old man's figure had become much more illusory after the attack. Brat, I'm Demon Saint Bo Yu of the Sky Devil clan. How dare you kill my grandson? Even if you hide in the divine world, I'll kill you. The old man said coldly. His aura was extremely violent as it pressed down on Ling Xiao, trying to destroy Ling Xiao's will. So what if you're Demon Saint Bo Yu? Get over here if you can. How dare a mere primordial spirit imprint speak so arrogantly? Today Bo Jie will die without a doubt. No one can save him. Ling Xiao was completely ruthless as his eyes revealed a trace of cold killing intent. Rumble. The purple thunder origin orb flew out of Ling Xiao's body like a purple divine sun, bursting with incomparably gorgeous light. Streaks of lightning spurted out, forming a huge purple lightning net that covered the sky and enveloped Bo Yu. Human brat, you're courting death. Bo Yu's face changed immediately. The power of lightning had a great restraining effect on the primordial spirit. Although Bo Yu was a demon saint, the power of his primordial spirit imprint wasn't strong. It was easily restrained by the power of lightning. Moreover, the Thunder Origin Orb was a supreme treasure of lightning, a flawless sacred treasure. Under Ling Xiao's control, it erupted with incomparably terrifying power. Rumble. Although Bo Yu erupted with powerful strength, destroyed most of the power of lightning, and even wanted to escape with Bo Jie's primordial spirit, there was no other way. In the end, streaks of lightning exploded and destroyed Bo Yu's primordial spirit imprint. Human brat, I'll remember you. One day, I'll kill you with my own hands. Before Bo Yu's primordial spirit imprint disappeared, it left behind an indignant and angry voice that reverberated in the sky lightning sea. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Mr. Long, please spare me. Boji's eyes were filled with fear. Even the brand that Bo Yu had left in his soul had been destroyed by Ling Xiao. He had lost all hope of escaping. His life was basically in Ling Xiao's hands. The Thunder Origin bead emitted a blazing light. Bolts of lightning intertwined and enveloped Boji's primordial spirit, making it impossible for him to escape. What a spineless person! Ling Xiao sneered, but he did not show any mercy. The power of the Thunder Origin bead exploded, and Boji's primordial spirit was instantly pierced by the lightning, turning into ashes. His soul was completely destroyed. Ling Xiao did not take Bo Yu's threat to heart. Putting aside the fact that Bo Yu was unable to enter the divine realm, even if he did, the saints of the divine realm were not to be trifled with. Moreover, Ling Xiao was confident that he would be able to find his own path to the divine path, and become a saint in a short period of time. Boji was killed by Ling Xiao, and his small world was opened by Ling Xiao. There are actually so many deity crystals? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. Boji's small world actually contained tens of millions of deity crystals. Other than that, there were also many heavenly treasures, some of which were unique to the devil realm. Ling Xiao did not take a closer look, and kept all of them. I wonder how the ancient city is doing. However, the 10 great divine kings have already brought the ancient cauldron back. There shouldn't be too much danger. Now that this matter is settled, it's time to return to the college. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. Calculating the time, the generational competition was about to begin. After the generational competition, it would be time to enter the Ares Temple. All of Ling Xiao's efforts were for the sake of entering the Ares Temple. This time, Ling Xiao could be said to have gained a lot in the god and devil space. His cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds, and his indestructible war body had also reached the peak of the 4th level. He was just one step away from breaking through to the 5th level, the triple deity dragon transformation realm. With Ling Xiao's current cultivation and combat strength, he was confident that he could defeat all the disciples of Ares College. Even the legendary number 1 on the Hidden Dragon leaderboard, Big Dipper Sr., was no exception. However, if I break through too much at once, I'm afraid it'll be easy for people to suspect my cultivation. It's better to conceal it. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He immediately used the heaven-shrouding secret technique, and revealed his cultivation to be at the middle heavenly god realm. Otherwise, if people saw that his cultivation had reached the great circle of the heavenly god realm, they would probably suspect that he had devoured the energy of the illusory demonic ancient tree. Although this abyss passageway was extremely sturdy, Ling Xiao now had the Thunder Pearl in his hands. He was confident that he could destroy it. Once again, he used the Thunder Pearl and triggered the endless thunder law in the Sky Thunder Sea. It formed a super thunderstorm and completely destroyed the abyss passageway. After that, Ling Xiao soared into the sky and flew towards the ancient city at extreme speed. Devil Realm. In a strange region, there was a black mountain that towered into the starry sky. It exuded an ancient and majestic aura, and there seemed to be endless stars revolving around it. An old man in a black robe, with white hair and a beard and blue eyes, slowly opened his eyes. A cold murderous intent filled the air. Long Out Yin from Aries College? I'll remember you. A cold voice rang out, and a strange sound wave spread out. The dozens of bright stars around him turned into nothingness. Whoosh! A burly man in animal skin flew up the mountain. His blood was boiling, and his face was ferocious. His eyes were cruel and bloodthirsty, but at this moment, he knelt down respectfully. Master, the abyss passageway that leads to the ancient city has been destroyed. The burly man in animal skin said. If it's destroyed, then so be it. Send the order to our spies. Capture Long Out Yin from Aries College for me. I want him alive. The black-robed old man was Bo Yu. His cold voice rang out in the void. Yes. The burly man in animal skin replied respectfully. He then turned around and flew down the mountain. After Ling Xiao left the Sky Thunder Sea, he took out a divine escape heavenly talisman and returned to the ancient city. When Ling Xiao returned to the ancient city, he realized that the battle in the ancient city had ended. However, the city defense array of the ancient city had been completely destroyed. A few of the city walls had collapsed, and the experts in the ancient city had suffered heavy casualties. The air was filled with the smell of blood. A few god kings stood in the sky. Their eyes shone coldly as they scanned the surroundings cautiously. The grand heavy sacred cauldron floated in the center of the grand ancient city. It shone with a powerful light, purifying all the demonic qi in the city. Junior brother Long, you're back? Fang Sheng and Fang Chong were taking care of the injured human clan experts. When they saw Ling Xiao, their eyes were filled with joy. It seems like the demonic race expert scheme didn't work. The humans won. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Then he looked at Fang Sheng doubtfully and said, Senior brother Fang, where are Yi Liangchen and Black Donkey? Have they returned to the college? Ling Xiao realized that Yi Liangchen, Black Donkey, Xian Wang, Fengya, and Yin Tiansong were not with them. Fang Sheng and Fang Chong's faces changed, and a bitter smile appeared on their faces. What's going on? Ling Xiao's face darkened. He felt that something had happened. Chapter 1394. Junior brother Long, junior sister Xian Wang and junior brother Yi have been taken away by Vice Principal Ji Jun of the Great Zhou Academy. It is said that Elder Ji Huang of the Great Zhou Academy was killed, and Ji Yuanlong said that it was related to them and you. Fang Sheng's face revealed a hint of anger. What? Ling Xiao's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with anger. Elder Ji Huang is a divine king expert, and he is extremely powerful. How could junior sister Xian Wang and junior brother Yi kill him? The Great Zhou Academy is so arrogant. Are the elders of the academy not going to do anything about it? Ling Xiao's voice was extremely cold, and he was completely enraged. Ji Huang was killed by Ling Xiao, but he did it cleanly. He believed that even the people of the Great Zhou Academy would not be able to find any evidence. Even if the people of the Great Zhou Academy were suspicious, they should be suspecting him. Why would they suspect Xian Wang and Yi Liangchen? Speaking of which, they were probably implicated by Ling Xiao. Fang Chong also nodded and said, Junior brother Long, you are right. Ji Yuanlong said that you were the one who killed Elder Ji Huang. However, since you have not returned, Vice Principal Ji Jun took Xian Wang and Yi Liangchen away for questioning. However, you don't have to worry. Elder Han is also here. He will not let them suffer. The people of the Great Zhou Academy are really domineering. I want to see what they are going to do. Senior brothers, where are they? Please take me there. Ling Xiao sneered and suppressed the anger and killing intent in his heart. The people of the Great Zhou Academy had provoked him time and time again. He had long wanted to kill them. If the Great Zhou Academy dared to hurt Xian Wang and Yi Liangchen this time, Ling Xiao would not mind turning the great ancient city upside down. Junior brother Long, don't be rash. The people of the Great Zhou Academy, Sky Sword Academy and Overlord Academy are searching for you everywhere. Elder Han wants me to tell you that once you return to the great ancient city, immediately use the teleportation array to return to the academy. As long as you are fine, they will not dare to harm junior sister Xian Wang and junior brother Yi. Fang Xing hurriedly advised Ling Xiao as he was afraid that Ling Xiao would act rashly. Ji Huang's status in the Great Zhou Academy was extremely high, and he was also Ji Jun's younger brother. Now that he was killed for no reason, Ji Jun was about to go crazy. As for the Sky Sword Academy and the Overlord Academy, they naturally stood on the side of the Great Zhou Academy. The Ares Academy and the Imperial Academy were already at a disadvantage. If Ling Xiao appeared, it would definitely give them an excuse to make a move. Long Outyan, you're finally here. Principal Ji Jun has ordered that you are suspected of murdering Elder Ji Huang. You have committed a heinous crime, so come with us obediently. Don't even think about running away. Otherwise, we can kill you on the spot. A cold voice suddenly exploded in the void. Whoosh! 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 3 figures flew over from afar. Each of them had a powerful aura. Their faces were cold, and their eyes were filled with cold killing intent. They were 3 young men in black robes. They were all in the great circle of the heavenly god realm, and were disciples of the Great Zhou Academy. They immediately surrounded Ling Xiao. Moreover, the 3 of them exuded powerful sword intent and surged with divine power. Their auras were extremely terrifying. It was as if Ling Xiao dared to act rashly, they would immediately attack and kill him on the spot. Suspected of murdering Elder Ji Huang? Could it be that you're all blind? Tell me, how could I, a mere heavenly god, kill a godly king elder of the Great Zhou Academy without a sound? Ling Xiao sneered coldly. Cut the crap. Whether you killed him or not, we'll know when Principal Ji Jun interrogates you. I advise you not to resist. Otherwise, don't blame us for being rude. One of the young men in black robes sneered. To the 3 of them, Long Outyan was only in the middle heavenly god realm. It was impossible for him to kill Elder Ji Huang. However, this was the vice principal's order. They had to bring this brat back. Moreover, there had always been friction between the Ares Academy and the Great Zhou Academy. They were naturally more than happy to let the disciples of the Ares Academy suffer a little. Who does Ji Jun think he is? Is he even fit to interrogate me? You want to slander me without any evidence? Who do you think you are? Get lost. I'll look for Ji Jun myself. There's no need for you to bark here. Ling Xiao's voice was incomparably cold. He was about to lose control of his anger and killing intent. The moment the Great Zhou Academy arrived, they treated him like a criminal. Ling Xiao's heart was filled with coldness. They were merely 3 disciples in the great circle of the heavenly god realm. Ling Xiao had killed more than 1 godly king realm cultivator, let alone these 3. After hearing Ling Xiao's words, the young man in black robes sneered and said, Long Outyan, I think you want to do this the hard way. Since you don't listen to our orders, don't blame us for being rude. Rumble. The young man in black robes had an indifferent expression. Divine power rose around his body. He slammed his palm towards Ling Xiao. This palm contained a few hidden forces, and was extremely vicious. Obviously, he wanted to injure Ling Xiao and make him suffer. If Ling Xiao was only in the middle heavenly god realm, he might not have been able to block this attack. You're courting death. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly as he punched out. Boom. Like a bolt of golden lightning, the ferocious fist aura exploded. It was like a golden sun in the sky, illuminating millions of miles of mountains and rivers. The majestic blood energy gushed out and Ling Xiao's aura changed drastically. He was like an ancient divine beast that had awakened from a deep slumber. This caused the young man in black robe's expression to change drastically. Gotcha. When the fist and palm collided, endless divine light exploded. However, the young man in black robe's expression turned extremely ugly. He felt an irresistible divine power explode. His arm exploded into a mist of blood, and he was instantly sent flying. Boom. The young man in black robes crashed into the ground far away, causing the ground to tremble violently. The young man in black robes' aura became extremely weak, and he let out a miserable cry. "You're courting death." The other two young men in black robes were shocked and furious. They did not expect Long Outyin to possess such terrifying combat strength. They immediately took out the two ancient swords behind their backs. The blazing light illuminated the void like two heavenly rivers and slashed towards Ling Xiao's head. These were two godly king weapons. Under their control, they contained an incomparably terrifying destructive power. Humph! Ling Xiao snorted coldly. The blood energy around him surged. He reached out with both hands and the golden blood energy condensed into mysterious lightning runes in his palms. The two ancient swords were grabbed by his hands, and they were still trembling violently. Chapter 1395. Killing intent flashed in the eyes of the two black-robed youths. Seeing that Ling Xiao dared to take on the godly king weapons with his bare hands, they immediately activated their ancient swords, wanting to completely cut off Ling Xiao's arms. Rumble! Ling Xiao's hands suddenly clapped together, and the two ancient swords collided with each other, triggering a monstrous divine light. The runes within exploded, and the two powerful godly king weapons seemed to have suffered different degrees of damage, and began to wail. Swoosh swoosh. Ling Xiao pushed out horizontally, and the two ancient swords were directly thrown out, instantly breaking free from the control of the two black-robed youths. Their faces changed drastically, and their eyes were filled with incomparable terror. The Ling Xiao in front of him was simply too violent. That kind of terrifying physical body made people feel despair. It was as though anything that stood in his way would be completely destroyed by him. However, before they could react, two golden palm prints had already slapped across the sky. Crack! The two palm prints were as fast as lightning, directly blasting on their chests. Instantly, countless ribs were broken, and their chests caved in. Blood spurted from their mouths as they were directly sent flying. In the blink of an eye, three great perfection heavenly gods were severely injured. Feng Sheng and Feng Chong were dumbfounded. Junior brother Long has become stronger again. Feng Sheng exclaimed, but there was not a trace of jealousy in his heart. That's right. I'm afraid junior brother Long's combat strength is enough to compete with senior sister Qinglian, senior brother Tiangang, and King Kong, and even win. Feng Chong also nodded and exclaimed in admiration. Previously, the intense battle between Ling Xiao and King Kong had already shocked them greatly. However, that was only a collision of physical bodies, and the two of them did not truly fight with their full strength. Feng Sheng and Feng Chong only thought that Ling Xiao had the strength to fight King Kong, but he might not necessarily be a match for King Kong. Yet now Ling Xiao had defeated three disciples at the peak of the heavenly god realm so easily. The scene was extremely shocking and astounding. Perhaps even King Kong and Ji Yuanlong might not be able to defeat three great perfection heavenly gods so quickly. Phew. I feel good. I'll let you live today, but if you still dare to act so arrogantly in the future, be careful that you don't die a proper death. Lead the way. I'm going to meet that so-called Vice Principal Ji Jun. Ling Xiao took a deep breath as a sharp glint flashed across his eyes. The three black-robed young men glared fiercely at Ling Xiao. Their eyes were filled with anger and fear, but they did not dare to say anything more. They supported each other as they stood up and walked in the direction of the city lord's estate. Ling Xiao's expression was very calm as he followed behind. Go. Let's follow them and take a look. No matter what, we can't let the people from the Great Zhou Academy be too arrogant. Feng Sheng and Feng Chong looked at each other and decided to chase after Ling Xiao. They faintly guessed that with Ling Xiao's fiery temper, it was very likely that the city lord's mansion would be turned upside down by him. In a palace deep within the city lord's mansion, 5 figures stood at the top. Their auras were extremely powerful and unfathomable. They were all divine kings. On the 2 sides below them stood Xian Wang, Yi Liangchen, Feng Ye, Yin Tianzong, and He Donkey. Other than the 5 of them, Bai Susu, Chu Yunfan, and Chu Yunfei were also present. On the other side stood Ji Yuanlong, and a few disciples from the Great Zhou Academy. Xianwang, when you were cultivating in the sacred spirit pool, where did Long Outyin go? Ji Jun's eyes flashed as he looked at Xianwang and asked. After the confrontation with Ji Yuanlong in the palace, Xianwang and Yi Liangchen told her how they found the sacred spirit pool and cultivated in it, after they left the ancient city, and entered the Sky Lightning Sea. Xianwang did not hide this point. She only said that after they entered the giant sacred spirit pool to cultivate, Ling Xiao left them to search for the sacred spirit pool alone. Xianwang also knew that the people from the Great Zhou Academy were only suspicious, and did not have any evidence. Moreover, she had already discussed with Ling Xiao. She only needed to tell the truth. There was no need to make up any lies. After all, Chu Yunfan and Chu Yunfei clearly knew that Ling Xiao wasn't with them. I don't know where senior brother Long went. However, if Principal Ji suspects that junior brother Long has something to do with Elder Ji Huang's death, please show me the evidence. Xianwang said indifferently. His expression was calm. Ji Jun frowned slightly. Xianwang's calm expression made him unhappy. However, he did not know why, but he felt that Xianwang was somewhat familiar. However, he did not know where this feeling came from. In the end, he only snorted coldly. Whether Long Outyin killed Ji Huang or not, we will know after we capture him. You are Bai Susu, right? What is your relationship with Long Outyin? When did you meet? Ji Jun's gaze fell on Bai Susu as he asked indifferently. According to Chu Yunfan and Chu Yunfei, Bai Susu had returned to the sacred spirit pool with Ling Xiao. Perhaps Bai Susu was a better breakthrough point. Long Outyin is my master. We have known each other since before the Great Void Trial. This time, by chance, we met in the mythical space. Bai Susu said coldly as if she was just stating a fact. She did not even look at Ji Jun. Did you and Long Outyin kill Ji Huang together? Hurry up and confess. Ji Jun's eyes suddenly shone brightly. Thunder roared out of his mouth. An extremely powerful sound wave exploded in the palace and enveloped Bai Susu. Bai Susu had used the heaven-shrouding secret technique to show that she was a late-stage heavenly god. In Ji Jun's opinion, Bai Susu would definitely confess if she was caught off guard. Although he did not have any evidence, he had a feeling that Ji Huang's death must have something to do with Long Outyin. Even if Long Outyin did not kill Ji Huang, Long Outyin had something to do with it. No. Bai Susu said indifferently, as if she wasn't affected by Ji Jun's words at all. However, her eyes had turned colder. Ji Jun's brazen attack on her immediately triggered a trace of anger and killing intent in her heart. Ji Jun, I have tolerated you for a long time. You have interrogated me for so long, but you have not found anything. If you have evidence, take it out. If you don't, get lost. The Ares College has no obligation to waste time with you here. Seeing Ji Jun attacked by Susu, Han Li's temper flared up. He slammed the table and stood up. He pointed at Ji Jun's nose, his eyes filled with anger. That's right. Taoist Ji, everything is just your suspicion. Furthermore, I heard that Long Outyin was only a heavenly god. How could he have killed Taoist Ji Huang? I think Taoist Ji Huang died in the hands of the demon race. Chapter 1396. Elders, please listen to what I have to say. Suddenly, the calm Ji Yuanlong's eyes flashed as he cupped his hands towards the five of them. Yuanlong, if you have anything to say, just say it. Ji Jun looked at Ji Yuanlong and said, Elders should know that Long Outyin killed the demonic god king, but the Thunder Source Pearl disappeared. At that time, Elder Ji Huang suspected that Long Outyin had taken the Thunder Source Pearl for himself. So when Long Outyin entered the Sky Thunder Sea, Elder Ji Huang followed Long Outyin to find the whereabouts of the Thunder Source Pearl. After that, Long Outyin left the Ares College and chose to act alone. Hence, I have reason to suspect that Long Outyin went to look for the Thunder Pearl. After following Long Outyin for a few days, Elder Ji Huang's life jade shattered. Hence, I have reason to suspect that Elder Ji Huang's death must be related to Long Outyin. Ji Yuanlong said calmly, but his words made the eyes of the two elders from the Sky Sword College and Overlord College light up. Thunder Source Pearl. These three words seemed to have some kind of magical power that instantly attracted their attention. The Thunder Source Pearl was a flawless sacred treasure bestowed by the 9-layered Imperial Obelisk. It was a treasure for practicing lightning-based martial arts. All these years, the 3 colleges had been searching for the whereabouts of the Thunder Source Pearl, but to no avail. Now that they heard about the Thunder Source Pearl from Long Outyin, and according to what Ji Yuanlong said, they were even more suspicious that the Thunder Source Pearl was on Long Outyin. Yuanlong is right. Ji Huang's death must be related to Long Outyin. As long as we capture him and search his soul, we will know. Ji Jun sneered. I agree too. If Ares College really has a disciple who dares to kill his elders, how is he different from a demon? He must be severely punished. Skysword College's elder Jian Kuan's eyes flashed as he said calmly, That's right. I also agree to continue the investigation. No matter what, we must find the real culprit who killed Ji Huang. Overlord College's elder was a burly man with a ferocious face. At this moment he also sneered. Han Li's brows immediately furrowed. He knew that the reason why the Sky Sword Academy and the Overlord Academy helped the Great Zhou Academy was not because they wanted to find the culprit. There were many conflicts between the 3 academies, and it was definitely because of the news about the Thunder Origin Orb. Although Ji Yuanlong's words didn't contain any substantial information, he did mention the possibility that the Thunder Origin Orb might be with Ling Xiao. This indirectly affected the 2 of them. What a deep scheme. Han Li couldn't help but glance at Ji Yuanlong. Everyone, I've thought of another suspicious point. I'm afraid none of you have thought of it. Ji Jun's eyes flashed as he suddenly said. When we were attacking the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree, a super thunderstorm suddenly appeared in the Sky Lightning Sea. Don't you think it's too much of a coincidence? However, as long as one could control the Thunder Origin Pearl, creating a super thunderstorm was not a difficult task. So now I suspect that the person who created the super thunderstorm is Long Outyin. The Thunder Pearl must be in his hands. According to your sect's disciple's statement, after we broke through the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's illusion, Long Outyin took the opportunity to leave, right? Combining all these suspicious points, I'm completely certain that the person who secretly created the super thunderstorm devoured the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's energy, and snatched the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's heart must be Long Outyin. The content of Ji Jun's words was too explosive. Instantly, the 5 Divine King Realm experts' eyes involuntarily shrank. Even Han Li's heart was shaken. As much as he didn't want to admit it, Ji Jun's deduction was indeed very reasonable. After all, there were too many coincidences in the process. Even Han Li suspected that Long Outyin used the Thunder Origin Pearl to trigger the super thunderstorm. However, if this was confirmed, it would be a great disadvantage for Long Outyin. With the Thunder Origin Pearl and the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's heart, the Sky Sword Academy, Overlord Academy, and the Great Zhou Academy would definitely not let Long Outyin go. Even the Imperial Academy might be tempted. Ji Jun, these are just your conjectures. Long Outyin's cultivation is merely at the Heavenly God realm. How could he use the Thunder Origin Pearl to trigger the super thunderstorm under our noses, and even devour the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's energy? Do you think he's a saint? If Long Outyin was really a saint, I'm afraid even if he killed Ji Huang, you wouldn't even dare to fart, right? Han Li sneered, his eyes filled with undisguised mockery. Although he somewhat agreed with Ji Jun's conjecture, as a member of the Ares Academy, he naturally couldn't help Ji Jun deal with Long Outyin. Moreover, he had long been unhappy with that bastard Ji Huang. This time, Ji Huang was killed by someone, and he was secretly delighted in his heart. Not to mention that he didn't know whether Ji Huang was killed by Long Outyin. Even if it was really Long Outyin, he would definitely help cover it up. Han Li's words caused everyone to be slightly stunned. That's right. Long Outyin's cultivation is only at the Heavenly God realm. It's impossible for him to cause such a huge commotion under our noses. I also think it's impossible for him to do it. The old lady from the Imperial Academy nodded. Humph. Han Li, don't you dare cover up for the murderer. If you find out that my brother's death is related to Long Outyin, I will make him pay with his blood. Ji Jun's eyes flashed with killing intent as he said coldly, Boom. At this moment, The door of the palace was kicked open by someone. Pay with his blood? What right do you have to make me pay with his blood? You said that Ji Huang's death is related to me. Then show me the evidence. Don't make groundless guesses here. Otherwise, even if you are the vice principal of the Great Zhou Academy, you will have to give me an explanation. Ling Zhao's eyes were cold as he walked in from outside the palace. His voice was clear and agitated. The three black-robed youths were all bruised and swollen, and their breathing was weak. They supported each other as they staggered into the palace. Immediately, they knelt down in front of Ji Jun and began to cry. Vice Principal, you must make a decision for us. This Long Outyin is too arrogant and savage. We went to bring him back for questioning, but he seriously injured us without any explanation. He's simply crazy. When the three black-robed youths saw Ji Jun, it was as if they had seen their savior. One by one they howled. They're talking nonsense. Elder, they were the ones who attacked junior brother Long first. Fang Sheng's face was filled with anger as he looked at Han Li and pleaded. Everyone's eyes couldn't help but shrink. Chapter 1397. You've rebelled. You've really rebelled. Long Outyin, you murdered Elder Ji Huang, and now you beat up 3 seniors. This is simply unforgivable. Kneel down and accept your death. Ji Jun was completely enraged. His gaze was incomparably cold, and contained an icy killing intent. Ling Xiao sneered and said, Ji Jun, don't accuse me. I'm a disciple of Aries College, not a disciple of your Great Zhou College. They want to deal with me. Don't tell me I'm not allowed to fight back? Since when can your Great Zhou College discipline my Aries College's disciples as you wish? Ling Zhao's gaze was clear as he looked at Ji Jun without any fear. At Ling Zhao's current cultivation level, he was only a step away from the Divine King realm. The pressure that the Divine King realm gave him was not as great as before. And with Ling Zhao's current combat strength coupled with his various trump cards and methods, even if it was a Divine King realm expert, so what? Ling Xiao was confident that he could win, or even kill, a battle. Long Outyin, did you kill my brother Ji Huang? Tell me honestly, and you can avoid physical pain. Otherwise, no one can save you today. Ji Jun's eyes were red as he said in a cold voice. Although he had no evidence, he believed that this brat in front of him must have something to do with Ji Huang's death. Ji Jun, threatening is not a good move. With me around today, Long Outyin this brat, I'm protecting him for sure. Han Li said with a cold laugh, opposing Ji Jun. Han Li, today I will avenge my brother. Whoever dares to stop me will be my enemy. Do you really want to go against me? Ji Jun's entire body exuded an incomparably majestic aura, causing the void to tremble slightly. You think I'm afraid of you? Ji Jun, you don't have any evidence. You want to touch my Aries College's disciples based on your conjecture? You'll have to kill me first. Han Li sneered. His entire body exuded a vast power of blood and qi. A dark golden light lingered around him, making him look like an indestructible god of war. Seeing that Ji Jun and Han Li were about to fight, the other 3 Divine King Realm experts hurriedly came forward to persuade them. No matter what, the 5 great academies were still on the same side on the surface. They still had to maintain a friendly relationship on the surface and couldn't fall out with each other. Elders, I have a way to determine whether Long Outyin killed Elder Ji Huang or not. Ji Yuanlong suddenly said, a strange look in his eyes. Oh, what is it? Ji Jun's eyes flashed. Using the ether-heavy sacred cauldron to perform the Heart Inquisition, Great Dao can interrogate a martial artist's heart and obtain the truest answer. No one can lie in the heart-questioning Grand Dao. All you need to do is ask Long Outyin questions in the heart-questioning Grand Dao, and all the answers will be clear. Ji Yuanlong smiled. Dao of conscience? These words made Ji Jun's eyes light up. The grand heavy sacred cauldron was able to break through the illusions of reality and directly interrogate a cultivator's mind. Therefore, with the suppression of the grand heavy sacred cauldron, the demon race was unable to sneak into the grand heavy ancient city, because there was no way to hide from the grand heavy sacred cauldron's interrogation. Using the grand heavy sacred cauldron to perform the heart-questioning Grand Dao and directly interrogate a martial artist's heart, they would definitely be able to obtain the truest answer. That's right. We will definitely be able to find the truest answer in the heart-questioning Grand Tao. At that time we will know whether Ji Huang's death is related to Long Outyin. Sky Sword Academy's elder Jian Kuan also nodded. No. Why should Long Outyin be interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao? You have no evidence to prove that Long Outyin killed Ji Huang. I don't agree. A divine light flashed in Han Li's eyes. He immediately shouted and rejected the offer. In fact, Han Li himself also believed that Long Outyin should be related to Ji Huang's death. After all, there were too many coincidences in between. Even if Long Outyin did not kill Ji Huang, Long Outyin could not escape responsibility. Therefore, he naturally did not agree to let Long Outyin be interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao. Otherwise, if Ling Xiao confessed everything in the heart-questioning Grand Tao, then even Han Li would not be able to save him. Han Li, why don't you agree? I think you have a guilty conscience. Being interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao will not affect him at all. Otherwise, I will just search his primordial spirit. Why go through so much trouble? Ji Jun sneered. Many of the Ares College's disciples were furious. The Great Zhou College was too overbearing. Just based on their guesses, they wanted Ling Xiao to be interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao. However, the Sky Sword Academy and Overlord College both supported Ji Jun. The three colleges were in the same boat. A strange look appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. He had naturally heard of the heart-questioning Grand Tao. It was to interrogate the truest feelings and answers in one's heart. All lies could not be hidden. If it was an ordinary heavenly god or even divine king realm expert, they would probably have to obediently confess everything in the heart-questioning Grand Tao. However, this did not include Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had obtained the inheritance of the Great Void Emperor, and had already cultivated the Great Void Heart Charm scripture to the 3rd level. With Ling Xiao's current heart realm power, even if he lied, he could not only deceive others, but he could also deceive himself. The heart realm power was ever-changing and everything was controlled by the heart. The so-called heart-questioning Grand Tao was a joke to Ling Xiao, who had the heart realm. With the heart realm as a cover, the heart-questioning Grand Tao could not find out anything from Ling Xiao. Even if it knew, it would be what Ling Xiao wanted it to know. Heart-questioning Grand Tao. Alright, I agree. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a mocking smile as he said indifferently. Ji Yuanlong's eyes narrowed. Looking at Ling Xiao's calm expression, he instinctively felt that something was wrong. He was certain that Ling Xiao had something to do with Ji Huang's death. He originally thought that Ling Xiao would not accept the heart-questioning Grand Tao, but Ling Xiao's sudden agreement made him waver. Could it be that Ji Huang's death really had nothing to do with Ling Xiao? No, Ji Yuanlong immediately denied it. This must be Ling Xiao's bluff. Long Outyin, don't worry. As long as you don't want to be interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao, no one can force you. With me around, no one will hurt you. Han Li glanced at Ling Xiao and persuaded him softly. He was afraid that Ling Xiao was being impulsive. If an accident really happened in the end, it would not be easy to clean up the mess. Thank you, Elder Han. I have a clear conscience, and am not afraid of being interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao. However, I have a condition. Ling Xiao smiled at Han Li. His expression was indifferent. What condition? Ji Jun said coldly. If under the interrogation of the heart-questioning Grand Tao, you are certain that Elder Ji Huang's death is related to me, then I will naturally be at your disposal. However, what if you are certain that I have nothing to do with it? Chapter 1398. Ji Jun said coldly. If we're sure that you have nothing to do with Ji Huang's death, we won't pursue the matter further. You think you're going to resolve the matter by saying you won't pursue the matter further? There's no such thing. You want me to cooperate with you when you're slandering me without any evidence? Do you really think that I'm easy to bully? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a cold glint. Then what do you want? Ji Yuanlong said coldly. Very simple. Ling Xiao's gaze fell on Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong. His voice was incomparably cold. If you're sure that I have nothing to do with Ji Huang's death, I want the two of you to kowtow and apologize to me. How dare you? Ji Jun's gaze turned cold. He did not expect Ling Xiao to raise such a condition. He was a mighty divine king, the vice principal of the Great Zhou College. If he had to kowtow and apologize to Ling Xiao, it would be a great humiliation. It would be harder for him to accept than death. Ji Yuanlong's eyes revealed a hint of murderous intent. Han Li laughed coldly. I think this condition is very good. What right do you have to slander a disciple of the Aries College without paying any price? If Long Outyin was wrongly accused by you, you must kowtow and apologize. This condition is very reasonable. The old woman from the Supreme Dao Palace also nodded. The elders from the Sky Sword College and Overlord College frowned. Ling Zhao's condition was too difficult to accept. Ji Jun was the vice principal of the Great Zhou College. He was powerful and had a high position. If he had to kowtow to Ling Xiao, not only would he find it hard to accept, but the Great Zhou College would also be humiliated. Ji Yuanlong was the most outstanding genius of the Great Zhou College. He was proud and arrogant. If he really kowtowed to Ling Xiao, it would leave a shadow in his heart, and he would never be able to recover from it. However, they could not refuse. After all, they had forced Ling Xiao to accept the interrogation of the path of conscience. Ling Zhao's unwillingness and anger were understandable. If you can't accept it, then forget it. However, I don't have the time to accompany you, Ling Xiao said indifferently. Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong looked at each other, and finally nodded. They believed that Ling Xiao must have something to do with Ji Huang's death. As long as the interrogation of the path of conscience revealed anything, Ling Xiao would have to die. Since that was the case, why not accept Ling Xiao? Good. I promise you. Ji Jun's gaze was cold to the extreme, but he still nodded. Empty words have no proof. I want the two of you to swear the great oath of the heart, Ling Xiao said. Ji Jun's gaze turned cold. Long Outyin, don't go too far. Could it be that you think that I, the vice principal of the Great Zhou Academy, would go back on my word? Ling Xiao smiled coldly and said, going too far. Is it me who has gone too far? Or is it your Great Zhou Academy who has gone too far? I'm sorry, but I really don't believe in the character of your Great Zhou Academy. You really have the possibility of going back on your words. After swearing the great oath of the heart demon, I can now accept the interrogation of the great Tao of conscience. Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's gazes were incomparably cold and murderous. If looks could kill, Ling Xiao would have been killed countless times by now. Their anger had reached its peak, and they wanted nothing more than to slap Ling Xiao to death. Han Li sneered and said, Long Outyin is right. Since you've agreed, then swear the great oath of the heart demon. If you're unwilling, I think you're deliberately going back on your word. Seeing Ji Jun and the others from the Great Zhou Academy suffer, Han Li was also incomparably happy. If Ling Xiao could force Ji Yuanlong and Ji Jun to kneel in the end, Han Li would probably be even more excited. Alright. I swear the great oath of the heart demon. Ji Jun's teeth were about to shatter, but in order to let Ling Xiao accept the great Tao of conscience, he could only suppress the anger in his heart. He was roaring in his heart. Let this bastard be arrogant for a while more. After the interrogation of the great Tao of conscience, it would be the death of this brat. In the end, Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong both swore the great oath of the heart demon. The great oath of the heart demon was equivalent to forming a contract with their own heart demons and the great Tao of the God realm. If they violated the great oath of the heart demon, they would be devoured by their heart demons. If it was light, they would lose their cultivation. If it was heavy, they would be burned to death by karmic fire. Therefore, most people did not dare to easily swear the great oath of the heart demon. This was also because Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong firmly believed that Ling Xiao had something to do with Ji Huang's death. So they agreed to swear the great oath of the heart demon. However, when Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong swore the great oath of the heart demon, they both played a little trick. The content of their great oath of the heart demon was that only if Ling Xiao had nothing to do with Ji Huang's death, and if he did not obtain the Thunder Origin Pearl, and did not steal the energy of the illusory demon ancient tree and the illusory demon tree heart, would they kneel and apologize to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, are you confident? I heard that the great Tao of conscience is very strange. If something happens to you, it will be fun. The black donkey sent a voice transmission to Ling Xiao gloatingly. Don't worry, a mere great Tao of conscience can't do anything to me. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Not to mention that he had opened up the heart realm, and the power of the heart was ever-changing. When the power of the great Tao of conscience was projected into the heart realm, it could not affect his true emotions at all. Moreover, he had the wordless heavenly book. With the wordless heavenly book's wonders, it was easy to block the power of the great Tao of conscience. It could be said that the so-called interrogation of the great Tao of conscience was a joke from the beginning. Unfortunately, Ji Yuanlong did not know that Ling Xiao had obtained the Great Void Heart Charm Scripture and the wordless heavenly book. Can we start the great Tao of conscience now? Ji Jun said coldly. No problem. I hope you won't go back on your words later. Ling Xiao said faintly and calmly. Ji Jun snorted coldly and looked at Ling Xiao as if he was looking at a dead man. In his heart, Ling Xiao was already on the blacklist of must kill. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The 5 great elders instantly rushed into the sky and began to activate the heavy sacred cauldron floating in the sky. The heavy sacred cauldron was a powerful, flawless sacred treasure. Under the activation of the 5 great elders, the heavy sacred cauldron emitted a mysterious light, like a resplendent pillar of heaven, shooting down from the sky. Rays of light were dense, and the light in the pillar of heaven fluctuated, as if there was an endless world being born and destroyed. It was incomparably mysterious. A mysterious domain appeared in front of everyone. This was the great Tao of conscience. Those who entered would be interrogated by the heavy sacred cauldron. At that time, all of their secrets would be exposed. Long Outyan, the great Tao of conscience has been opened. Why don't you go in? Ji Jun stared coldly at Ling Xiao and scolded coldly. As you wish. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and walked directly into the mysterious domain. His entire body was enveloped by a brilliant light. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.